trying. I'm trying to stream and go live and have a little quick conversation. Right? Keep it down to a lean 60 minutes and then play some Final Fantasy 16. I'm trying. But for the love of God, why can't I just need a week to play the game and not have a bunch of just stuff happen. I can't. Hi everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling well. Marco's in the hunt with a Twitch Prime subscribe for 55 months. Thank you so much. Dragoon, Mr. Roche, Marcos, of course, Logan, Latimer, CT, and Tomic, the High Wario, Kia. What's going on? I can't. It's just constant. Now, I don't know. We have weeks where there's nothing to talk about, and then we have weeks where every day we wake up and there's some other bit of news that all of a sudden I want to talk about, and I have a bunch of obnoxious opinions on, probably. Let me go back up here. Hey, news on several fronts again. Yes. Sound off. Who's not dead? James Earl Jones is not dead. I saw James Earl Jones trending, so I clicked on it. And somebody needs to add something that when a celebrity is trending, it says right above, "Not dead." Because every time I click one of those, that's the first thing I see is people saying, "Oh, I saw they were trending and they're not dead." Which I don't mean to disrespect anybody that something bad happens or they just pass away, but it does kind of like. My heart drops a little bit when I see, names. I'm like, oh, God. I heard that Phil Spencer base in Fallout 76 got nuked by angry fans. I didn't hear about that, but that sounds hysterical. Greg looking to play games like 16 after spending stream talking about how Microsoft is looking to publish smaller scale games where, oh, boy. What this time is online game? No, it's other stuff. Gaming is probably dying the way we know it. Microsoft won't stop stepping on rakes. Nintendo won't stop releasing games. Yeah, shoots Tango. We need more games like Hi-Fi Rush. They were trending descriptions on Twitter, and then Musk took over. Do you see that? While still a rumor, a major distributor apparently leaks some. I keep hearing that, Dragoon. I feel like every other day I'm seeing Switch 2 features leaked, right? Magnets and somebody apparently confirmed backwards compatibility. Like, I see everything, but you know how I am. I don't mind talking about the rumors, but at this point with Switch 2 rumors, I'm almost tired of it. It really is like. It's interesting to talk about it, to go over just like the possibility of it, but I feel like every 2 to 3 days I'm seeing something that says Switch 2 rumors, details leaked, developers leaked it, publishers, like it's always something. Yeah, hello Ryan, what's going on? Lisa confirmed something we said but differently. Xbox is not relevant, but in the sense that whatever they say means nothing to the actual boss being Microsoft. Today I'm wearing my "I really wish I weren't witnessing people losing their jobs because of bad corporate decisions right now" button. Not just that, Atomic, because that is obviously a very important thing, but I do think that I think that the biggest thing about this Microsoft stuff is that it's indicative of a bigger issue, and it's an issue where I think you can speculate till the cows come home, but you won't actually know. Let me bring this a little closer. Some folks were bringing up Nintendo's recent shutdown and Yuzu saying it's worse than the closure. Problem with that logic is that there's an emulator. It was proven to be promoting a leaked pirated copy, whereas people... I saw somebody else mention it was like 100 people, 100 testers were let go from Nintendo a couple months ago, and it's like, yeah, but that's not really the same thing. Like, that's not... up to 100 testers... being let go from Nintendo at this time right now is not nearly the same thing as thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs after they did good things, and that's, we'll chat about it a little bit more, but that's sort of what the problem is that they're not even on the same scale. We can also talk about how PS Plus and Xbox Live only gained 1% users this year. The Hi-Fi Rush situation reminds me of what Nickelodeon did with Invader Zim. They wanted a show to appeal to a more teenage demographic. They get it, then they almost immediately cancel it. Microsoft also wants. Yeah, I mean, this is you guys are pointing it out perfectly. These companies are closing. These other things are happening. Xbox and Game Pass only grew like 1% over the year. Ryan with the 60 stream streak. Thank you so much, Ryan. Microsoft wants to increase Game Pass prices. This is what I'm talking about. It's just like, I want to play Final Fantasy 16, man, but I want to talk about this stuff because it's interesting. And it's like, could you slow down? Give me a week to play this game. 100 has like detail left out. 100 like many testers were officially hired by Nintendo when that happened. Not just that. To talk about that really quickly. Sure, but they're also testers, which means their job was most likely temporary. You know, they're not permanently on staff, especially when you consider that they've got a new system coming out. So it's just like they were saying last year, where people were talking about or earlier this year. God, it feels like last year. Earlier this year, where some of the downscaling of some of these companies and the people that lost their job, some of it was that you hired more people because you had projects in the works, and when those projects are done, you scale it back. It still sucks, but at least some of it can be explained. And I think that that's something important to really identify, is that not every single job loss is being blamed per se. For instance, with this Xbox round of closures, you've got the Roundhouse Games people going over to ZeniMax Online Studios. I feel bad that they're losing the job that they have, but they still have a job. They're still going somewhere else. They're still going to another company. It doesn't mean that their job is safe for the future, unfortunately. What I worry about is Arcane Austin. And they, sure, Redfall was kind of a mess. But Dishonored, they did Dishonored, right? Dishonored wasn't really a mess. What was that other game that you guys were telling me about? Prey? Prey apparently was popular. So I don't understand, the logic of, well, they made a bad game. Yeah, but they also made good games. And I'm willing to bet you that they made a bad game because there was somebody from corporate that was telling them what to do and not do. So bad games are not something that oftentimes developers say, hey, let's make bad games. There's more than likely some corporate situation that caused them to have to rush or caused a bunch of problems, and it ended up being a bad game. It's like, I don't know. Can you blame them for that? Is that really their fault? Do they deserve to lose their jobs over it in an instant? Do they deserve to lose their jobs over a half-assed email and find out not long before the rest of us did? There's so much disrespect there that it's insane. So even if you want to argue that it's a bad company that they made a bad game, do they deserve that? And then you've got the biggest monkey wrench in all of this. This is the thing that, for anybody that says anything like that, and I've heard this a lot over the past couple of days. You get the logic of, well, make better games, make things that are more popular, make things that are successful. You got Tango Games. Tango Games ruins all of that. It ruins that entire logic stream because they made Hi-Fi Rush one of the better games of last year, if not one of the best games of last year. It won awards. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And you're fired. So I was watching a video and it was Spawncast. I was watching Spawn Wave, the news in the morning, Spawn Newscast, whatever. And at the end of it, he talks about how that he hopes that what are they called? Night something studios, the ones making Hellblade, the ones making Hellblade 2, Ninja Theory. He talks about how Ninja Theory, like, he hopes Hellblade is good because that will help Ninja Theory and it'll protect their jobs. And it's like, no, it's not. That's the problem. Look at what's happening with Hellblade, right? So we can slip into that a little bit. So in the midst of all of it, there's a whole new wave of stuff, right? The layoffs and everything that we already saw were from the other day. There's a whole new facet to all of this now. There's some nonsense things that were said, and then they put out a tweet. Yeah, poor Hellblade. I believe that 100%. Poor Hellblade that is going to get the crap end of the stick on this one. They put out a tweet, and everybody, it was in the comment section of the tweet, everybody called it marketing, because they haven't really marketed Hellblade. They haven't marketed it the way that you would market any other gigantic game like Hellblade 2 is supposed to be. They put out a tweet, and the tweet said, let me find it. I'm gonna read you exactly what the tweet says here. Hold on. Because for as many people that it was like they were making a joke, and that's fine. You were making a joke as consumers, as people on Twitter. We're not really. It's not our responsibility to do anything more significant than that. We have fun with it. We could talk about it, obviously. This is Xbox's official tweet. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, May 21st. That's it. And it's a picture. And it's a picture of the main character. And that's it. That's your advertising for Hellblade 2. It bothers me. It genuinely bothers me that this is happening. You have these other things, and I kind of wanted to roll. I was hoping to talk about this later because some of the other topics are smaller. But I put out a tweet. There were some comments here. This is. I won't link them. I'm just gonna say to you the things that are. I made 2 tweets, and I posted in the tweets. I posted some comments that were made in some interviews. Is everybody's 1-2 switch level tweets? I remember Hi-Fi Rush for Shadow. Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush for Shadow dropped. Just giving up already, not a care. Yeah, it really kind of. And I'm sorry, I'm not really going through the comments here like I should be. Phil Spencer, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and publish their ability, push their aspirations. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, held a town hall to discuss the division's future goals. We need smaller games that give us prestige and awards, Booty told employees, according to internal remarks shared with The Verge. I mean, this sounds like Hi-Fi Rush. Right? I mean, that sounds like Hi-Fi Rush. In regards to smaller games, I guess they probably mean games that cost less to make, but whose fault is that? Is that their fault? You're talking about how you need smaller games, and you've got Hellblade coming out. Hellblade's been in development since well before the Xbox was released. Wasn't that a long like a announcement game when they showed off the Xbox? Wasn't Hellblade 2 there? Whose fault is it that game is taking so long? Is it theirs? I'm willing to. I would put money on the fact that it's not the developers. That it's a corporate studio that is trying to make a bunch of decisions behind the scenes because they want to turn it into something that it was probably never supposed to be. I would put money on that because we have tons of evidence of this happening in other areas. For held average too, several cases like this where speak with your wallet, speak with your word. It's not working. It's not working. To the point where people are trying to convince others. It's just a small game. Yeah. To the point where people are trying to convince others to buy a game they may or may not be interested in order to keep a studio alive. And it doesn't even work, Marcos. That's the problem. It does. This is my issue. This is my big issue, is because I feel for the developers. I feel for anybody that's losing their job, and I don't want that to be overshadowed by any way that I feel. All I can really talk about, other than being sympathetic towards what they're going through in their personal situations as far as losing their jobs and all, I can only really talk about this from a consumer standpoint. And from a consumer standpoint, I'm pissed. I am pissed off because all of this is happening and there's nothing I can do. There's nothing that we as a community can do. Speak with your wallet isn't working anymore. It's not. If you buy a game and you don't even know if the company's going to survive. If you don't buy a game, we don't even know if the company's going to survive, and they're just going to make more of them because they're going to think, well, that didn't work, let's do something else with it. We don't I've never felt more powerless as a consumer watching my hobby disintegrate. In the years that this sort of thing has been happening, I have never felt more powerless to do anything. I can't change any of this. Well, if we support the devs, no, it doesn't work. You made an award-winning game that came out at a good price, that was incredible, that is now available on multiple platforms, and they turned around and they closed the studio before you even had a chance. Hellblade, if you went out and you bought Hellblade, if you bought 10 copies of Hellblade and it was the most successful selling game, you don't know that Ninja Theory is safe. Or they're going to turn around and let's say Hellblade is amazing, they're going to turn around and they're going to overly monetize the hell out of it because, great, the game is successful. Now we have a platform to microtransaction the heck out of it, and no one's going to want to engage in the microtransaction aspect of it. It's not going to make as much money as they thought it was going to, and now they're going to lose money because they changed the format of the game, and now we're back to where we started. Support indie devs. You can support indie devs. The problem is, first of all, you shouldn't have to support one sector of the industry just because. You should be able to put your money where you think good games are. The problem is that indie devs are, because they're starting closer to the bottom as far as funding goes, it's going to be harder for them to get games off the ground. If you've got the big developers shuttering AAA and even AA studios, they're probably not going to risk indie games, especially since there's just so many indie games out there, and a lot of the time you don't know which one's going to hit. You know, you get lucky, right? Every once in a while you get lucky. You drop, it's not an indie game, but every once in a while you get lucky and you get Helldivers 2. And it's incredible. And it's an incredible experience that people are willing to put money towards. The problem is, again, that doesn't work because you had Hi-Fi Rush and they're gone. Yeah, and a good single indie game makes up to 10 years to make. You know why? Because indie devs don't have the manpower that these larger studios have. So you can't make games as fast as them. You can support the indie dev market, but it's not going to change what's happening to the higher up markets. And in the higher up markets really do, they don't have the budget. The higher up markets really do steer the industry in a way. It's just the truth. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Why is it the truth? Because the higher budget, especially right now in the console scene at least, the higher budget companies are the ones making the consoles for you to play. On the PC market, sure. But who knows what happens with the PC industry? Who knows that PCs don't become the primary gaming location for everybody, and now PCs are more expensive, and PC parts are more expensive. And then the whole thing just happens somewhere else. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a downer. It's just, it's hard to watch what's happening with this industry and with my hobby. And again, I say with my hobby because that's what's directly relevant to me. I know that what's happening with these developers and they're losing their jobs and stuff, that's significantly more important. I have plenty of video games to play. It's more important that these people are safe in their jobs and they are able to take care of themselves and take care of their families. That is dramatically more important. But from my standpoint, from my hobby standpoint, and from a consumer standpoint, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see this industry. I don't want to say dying because I don't think it's dying, but it's changing in a way that by the time it levels out, if it ever levels out, I feel like it's going to be unrecognizable from what we're used to. Favorite movie shooter called Bears in Space, made by 3 devs. It took the game 7 years to make, and I've never heard of it. Hi, Vernon. And I don't mean that I don't mean that to be a smartass. What I mean is I've never seen that game advertised. I've never heard anybody talk about that game. So if the big studios aren't advertising these games, very few people are going to hear about. Not enough people are going to hear about them. And even if they did, even if every good indie game got support from everybody, the reality is, and this is something I've said plenty of times before, the reality is they're fighting for time. They're fighting for your time as a gamer, as a gaming hobbyist. You have a set amount of time that you can engage in video games, and you are going to need to make choices about where you put that time. And if you put all of your time into indie games, and you never in your life, for the rest of your life, played a AA or AAA game, you would still not have enough time to play all the indie games that matter. There's just so much of it. There's just so much of it. What happens is the studios get bought up by big companies, and then this happens. I just want to make this clear because I feel an interesting pattern. Phil, Matt, and Sarah are posters. Whoever's in charge of Xbox is just there to be the face. Microsoft is the one making the decisions. Yeah, those three are taking the shots. I'm not defending them. Just saying that the reality is, they don't matter. They don't matter. You know, a lot of people were saying that. A lot of people were like, it's Spence. How is Spence still there? How is Jim Ryan still? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're punching bags. Their job is to be the face of the company, which means that's the face you hate when things go wrong. But the reality is, it doesn't mean anything. And that's exactly what I mean, is that they're irrelevant to the situation because we're powerless. They're powerless. You can't convince me that Phil Spencer had any say whatsoever in what happened to Tango and Arcane. You can't. Nintendo, who avoided the power race and continued to support smaller, younger teams. Shockingly high employee retention rate, and they'll just buy up everyone who makes a game. Yeah, these companies, they overstretched. They overreach. Not to mention, they also have other revenue streams. They also are different companies. Hang on one second. So there was this other set of messages here. The reason that Tango was this is a tweet by James Galizio. The reason that Tango was axed was specifically because they had released a successful video game and were pitching a sequel that would have necessitated new hires. That's not speculation. That's literally what we're being told. You can't reform leadership that thinks like this. And the other comment was, both Tango and Arcane released games last year and were looking to hire additional staff as they pitched new projects, which Booty and Braff suggested was the main factor behind their closures. Shinji Mikami, Tango's founder and studio head, departed last year. They're not trying to make good video games. This is something I said. They're not trying to make good video games. Microsoft isn't trying to make good video games. Sony isn't trying to make good video games. They are trying to make successful revenue streams. The live service model, all of that, that's what it's about. They're trying to make something that makes them millions on top of millions of dollars with as little effort as possible. And I can't exactly fault them for that. It's a smart thing to do. From a business standpoint, it's a smart thing to do. But they're not trying to make good video games. They're not trying to give you the best gaming experiences. They're trying to make things that they can monetize for a long period of time that you will engage in with your finite amount of time. Probably the most important currency right now. There's two types of currency. There's money and time. They want both of them. They want your money and they need your time in order to do it. Because every minute that you're not playing their game is a minute that you are not spending money on them. That's what the live service push was about. That's what all of that, what the hell was it? Blockchain money, nonsense, crypto, BS. That's what it's about. Because as long as you're playing their games and as long as you're engaging in what they do, you're spending money. You're giving them your time, so you are a potential customer. The second you put down your Xbox controller and you pick up a Nintendo controller, you're not an Xbox customer anymore. They have lost you, and they want to get you back, and they want you to not leave in the first place. So that's why. That's why. Look these tweets here, these messages from these interviews. They didn't like the fact that they were going to have to put more resources into what was happening. Hi-Fi Rush was a great game, and in order to make a second one, they needed more employees, and they said no, and they shut them down. These games that have come out recently in these past few years, it's games like Exoprimal, games like Chocobo Racing. I mean, these games could have been great single-player experiences, but they figured out a way to monetize them in an attempt to monetize them for as long as possible. They see that money, man. They see that money. They see the money from those kinds of games, and it's tempting. It's tempting to look at a game and think, "Wow, we don't have to for the next 4 years because if you get a hit game, you don't need to spend the next 4 years developing an entirely brand new game." Yeah, I'm surprised Exoprimal's still alive. I'm not surprised, Ronan. I don't know anything about the numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised if the reason Exoprimal is still alive is because in the long run, it's cheaper to upkeep than it is to make a whole new game. And that's the point. If Exoprimal hit the way they wished, and they would have made a bunch of microtransaction stuff for it, you'd see a lot more advertising on it. And you'd probably see development slow down on other games within the company because there'd be no need. They don't have to. They don't have to spend their Exoprimal profit on making new games that they would hope break even. And I'm sorry. I know that you guys are messaging and I'm trying to pay attention to that, but like it's in Hi-Fi Rush, a great game, but the part is missing is so I heard because I know Plenty, for example, said I heard great things, but I haven't gotten to it. Game Pass not making money is very relevant to Hi-Fi Rush being successful on a floundering service. Excuse me. The main argument right now is that while Microsoft approved the Blizzard the purchase of ActBlizz, they were hoping everything else was capable to pay off an amount of money that not even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been able to cover. They wanted Starfield and Game Pass to not only make $70 billion, they wanted to profit from them, which fits given the 100 million subs expectation. So now they're just cutting heads. Immediately during the Hi-Fi Rush situation, Microsoft said they want to buy Nintendo again. Now I heard of shooting yourself in the foot, but Microsoft didn't stop at the foot. Yeah, they just kind of traveled up from there. Yeah, why make a quality game when you can make quantity? And the wrong kind of quantity. Right? Why make 5 games when you could make one game that makes 5 times the money? That's their logic. That has to be their logic. That has to be it. Yeah, to be fair, Hi-Fi Rush was a great game. And yeah, I admit that for as much as I've heard about the game, I haven't picked it up yet. And that's just a time issue. That's just, if I had more time, and that's sort of my point, is that if I had more time, I'd play more games. But I don't. Not to mention money is money right now. Throw money, get money. No money? Okay, time to close up shop. Argue is a smart thing if it works, which we're seeing it's not at the moment. Because of the topic I mentioned earlier, Nintendo is the only developer with arguably cheap online option that stayed the same, though the upgrade went up. Meanwhile, Sony and Xbox keep increasing Game Pass and PS Plus base price. This is all Blinks the cat's fault somehow. Blinks has the power to fix it. It's the problem. Blinks is a time sweeper. Go back, Blinks. Fix it. Hi-Fi Rush is about fighting an evil corporation. So there was this other. So those two tweets. They made me think of something, and I wanted to sort of present to you about this. This feels like Xbox One console reveal all over again. I'm not the biggest conspiracy theorist person, although I have mentioned several conspiracy theories that I have usually, right? Teeth Sonic, probably my favorite one. this week in particular, you see this news, right? You see these studios closing despite making good games. You see them talking about Game Pass only grew 1%. You see these comments here about what they want and then contradicting themselves with what they don't want. Does it feel like Microsoft is like they've got to be doing this on purpose, right? At a certain point, it starts to feel like they're doing this on purpose. Like they're tanking the Xbox brand specifically on purpose. And I'm trying to figure out if there's any logic to that. Yeah, see, they're confused. And Marcos, that's what I thought, right? That's what I keep thinking. I keep thinking that about Microsoft and Sony, that they're misunderstanding the market. They're not really understanding the consumers. They're making the wrong decisions based on the wrong goals. Like, I keep thinking all of that. But at some point, if you give a kid a test of 100 questions, multiple choice tests of 100 questions, and they get 100 questions wrong, that's a hell of a coincidence. They've got to know all the answers, and they did it wrong. Right? For whatever reason, they did it wrong on purpose. It's starting to feel... Yeah, Spider-Verse reference. There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. It just feels like they're getting a lot of the same exact things wrong, as wrong as they can possibly be this week, in particular. What I was wondering, and obviously there's no way to know that, right? There's no way to know that for sure. What I was trying to figure out was why they would do that. Why would you, it feels like they're feeling the damage of buying ZeniMax and Activision. But how would that translate into them tanking the Xbox branding? That's what I'm trying to figure out, is why are they doing that? What would they have to gain from that? Or what would they have to lose from that? And I'm trying to think of an answer. Let me ask you this: Microsoft wanted to pull out of the gaming industry. Why would they do it in the most costly way? And Wario, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, if they were trying to pull out of the games industry because it was costing them more money than it was worth, and it was costing them more effort than it was worth, why would you do that by tanking your brand? I'm not sure I understand that. And I was trying to think of an answer, and the only thing I could really come up with was they need the Xbox brand to die. This is wild speculation. They need the Xbox brand specifically to die so that it will be more appealing to sell the IPs and the companies that they've picked up separate from Xbox. As long as they're attached to the Xbox name, it might be it'd be like trying to sell them trash out of a dumpster fire while the trash is still on fire. They need to sort of like kill the branding so that it's easier to differentiate the companies and the IPs from Xbox. And maybe make them a little bit cheaper so they're more appealing to sell. You know, if Xbox is really popular and you want to sell something, you try and sell it for a lot of money, but nobody wants to pay for it. So your investors are not going to be okay with you selling this company that you spent $20 billion for. They're not going to be okay with you selling it for $10 billion. Unless you show them that the ship is sinking. And then they will approve, because that's what we keep talking about here, is that a lot of this is probably corporate decisions. It's what's killing the development. It's what's killing the decision making. So maybe the idea is to show them that the ship is sinking, and then they'll be willing to bail out for whatever they want. Why not just sell for less? Because as long as the investors think that the company is worth $20 billion, they will want $20 billion for it. But if you start sinking the company from within, and then you make it so that they're desperate to get out, and like I said, wild speculation. You make it so that they're desperate to get out, they will approve a vote for a $10 billion sale. It's the only logic that I can think of. As an outsider who knows nothing about business, it's the only thing that I can think of, that they are looking to get rid of a lot of assets, which includes companies and includes IPs. So they need to destroy the Xbox brand so that investors will want to sell it for cheaper, so that they'll approve of a sale and they can get rid of it. And then Microsoft can keep what's left and rework that. Game Pass might actually be successful if they weren't also putting money into game development. As a third, look at something like Steam. As a third-party game distributor, they are relatively profitable, right? Steam isn't losing money. Without looking at the books, I'm kind of curious to know if Microsoft is making money, but they're losing money on game development, long-term game development. So they might actually be, that could be it. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems too blatant to be a mistake. Let me go back up here. The answer is simple. Xbox took $70 billion, hoping they were going to get the money back sooner than a reasonable person would do. Let's not forget how much they paid for Activision. That's not chump change. Yeah, remember when Sony had to lay off people because of the Bungie purchase? Can you use nature analog? Sometimes in order for a new forest to grow, you have to burn down the old forest to make space. Perhaps they're gearing for a new structure, and this is the horrible growing pains that are the transition. That could be it. And they're cutting the fat, and at this point, they probably think the Xbox is fat. It's the games development sector, the system, the hardware development sector, the hardware distribution sector. All of those things that have the Xbox name on them are costing them money. The only thing that might be making them money is Game Pass. But if they're spending money if they're spending the profits from Game Pass to hold up the other things, they'd actually make more money if they got rid of the other things. And that's a lot of assets. That's a lot of development. Those are development teams. There's entire R&D teams that you can offer to another company and say, listen, they worked on this piece of hardware. This piece of hardware is incredible. Let's go. I mean, we joked before about Nintendo buying Xbox, not Microsoft, but Nintendo buying the Xbox division and saying, yeah, we're going to use their R&D. We're going to use their development. I don't think they would do that. I'm just saying that that's something that sounds like the kind of ridiculous thing that Microsoft might think they can get Nintendo to do. Go back up. Things have happened. Microsoft didn't really comprehend what they were committing to when the Activision purchase, and they're now in frantic mode, and they're cutting heads to compensate an expectation that was never going to make sense. Hang on here. I think it'd be more believable if it was just done by a higher up out of spite. What happened with that Xbox Nintendo collab? That was never going to happen. I think they also just want to do Game Pass. They'll give you one final Xbox Game Pass machine and leave. No publishing, no developing, no distribution. I question whether or not they'd even do that, Hawk. To be honest with you, we've said before that I think that the next Xbox would be all digital, but I've also questioned whether or not there'll even be a next Xbox. I don't know. I don't know if they'll bother, because the hardware, it's one thing to say, yeah, they made a new system, but look at how much R&D goes into it. Look at how much goes into it as far as resources. You need manufacturers that build the product. You need distribution networks that ship the products. You need upkeep for the products for years and years to come. It's entirely possible, in my opinion, it's entirely possible that they get out of the console game after this. Because if they're trying to cut what they consider to be fat, and if if Game Pass is the only thing that they think is worth it, they will roll Game Pass into an all-digital PC experience. They will put more R&D into the thing that they already do, which is build computer components and software, and they won't make a console anymore. They won't have to worry about any of that stuff. The R&D, the distribution, the manufacturing, they won't have to worry about any of it. The upkeep for years and years to come. Because if they make a new system, let's say Xbox right now, the Series X and S still need to be upkept for at least, 10, 15 years? You still need to make sure that you've got updates for that system. You still need to make sure that you're putting out security updates. So there's still going to be some sort of an upkeep for that system for, I would say, at least the next 10 years. Right? So PS3 was still getting security updates. So on some level, you do still have to pay attention to it. If they are developing another console, that's another 20 years commitment. And I don't know that they'll do it. I feel like they're gonna, if they're looking at the numbers and deciding where to make cuts, I feel like that's somewhere that they're gonna make a cut and they're gonna say, yeah, we don't have to do that anymore. Hang on. We know for a while that Xbox hasn't been profitable. It's hard to understand what's going on from the outside. Rarely does it ever make sense. Yeah, and again, I feel like I need to beat this into the ground here, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm speculating as somebody who doesn't know anything about this industry or industries in general, but it's I'm trying to make sense of it, and it's just the thing that makes sense to me. Steam takes 30% of every sale on the platform, so they're definitely profitable. Yeah, they're definitely profitable. They don't have the R&D of building a console. Like there's so much that they don't have to worry about. I'm sorry, what's the one that they make? Isn't that the Index? Isn't Steam associated with the Valve Index or something? Here's the thing. Before ActBliz, I'd say Xbox was actually making the right calls. Dev mode for developers to mod the system and build a community. Backwards compatibility bigger than everyone. Collaborative efforts with Nintendo. Consumer friendly services. After ActBliz, they took a personal. See, I don't think ActBliz was the problem. I think it was a symptom of the problem. I think the bad decision making started before, and ActBliz was part of it. I don't think that they got ActBliz and said, "Uh-oh, it's all downhill from here." I think that because if I decide to jump off of a building, when is the problem? When I decided to jump off the building or when I hit the ground? I think the ActBliz thing, sorry, I know that's kind of graphic and gruesome, but I think the ActBliz thing is a symptom of bad decision making. And it was definitely the turning point. I think it was definitely the thing with all of the problems that were associated with that deal. I think it was definitely the point where, like you guys are saying, they bit off more than they could chew. And it turned into a significant problem. And now whatever was happening, whatever bad decision making they might have been able to recover from over time, but this sped it up, and now they just jumped into a hole. And now they're clawing their way out of it. We know the Game Pass is a net loss itself, but putting more focus on money could help that. It's in investor interest to be Xbox failure and not a Microsoft. Yeah, not a Microsoft failure. It needs to be an Xbox failure. Xbox needs to be the thing that fails. Because that's a good point. A lot of this, when you think about it, you think about Xbox. But realistically, Microsoft's name is on there. So Microsoft, the rest of the company is probably looking at this saying, listen, we gotta, this thing is turning into a problem. It's turning into a PR nightmare. And they gotta cut it loose. I did not see yesterday's X-Men 97. I did not see that, so no spoilers. It's funny. Xbox was trying to be friendly with Nintendo by sharing Rare and Banjo to them in order to be buddy to purchase them. Given the recent events, it's going to be even harder to convince Nintendo to even consider. Nintendo's not going to be bought. They're not. Nintendo's not selling to anybody. Problem is they're building for having the audacity of being there. To be honest, the bigger issue probably with the ActBliz purchase wasn't necessarily a bad choice. Sony lawsuit stalled everything, and I think that started the big downhill spiral. Clawing with Lego claws. They slipped even further. Then they fell and said whole. I'll disagree respectfully because I do believe the ActBliz purchase was the point where Microsoft stopped letting Xbox cook. and now Microsoft is focusing on making the money back, even if it means at an expense of his own company. That's fine. AGM, I kind of look at it. I guess the better comparison is chicken and the egg, right? Rather than that gruesome roof thing. It's like chicken and the egg, right? Which came first? Was because I do agree that the cascade that started after the purchase is definitely speeding all of this up. But then it becomes a situation of, was the problem the purchase, or was the problem the decision to make the purchase? I guess it's like a chicken and the egg sort of thing, because I do think that somewhere the only reason they made a dumb decision like that is because there was somebody there to make a dumb decision. And so, yeah, so I kind of believe. I see what you're saying. No, I see that if ActBlizz only cost them right, if ActBlizz only cost them $20 billion, this probably wouldn't be happening the same way. The fact that it was so expensive, and yes, somebody mentioned the fact that it got stalled, and any sort of profitability that they were hoping to gain at the beginning got delayed. So that could easily be it. But yeah, I think if ActBlizz was significantly cheaper, I don't think a lot of this would be happening. I think there'd be enough overhead for them to say, yeah, okay, we can stomach whatever's happening for a few years until it becomes profitable. But now they can't. Now they can't. They spent one Nintendo worth of money. They bought gold. It cost them 2 small islands in order to buy that company, and it's not working because it might have worked, but it didn't work fast enough. There are things that you could have done that probably would have helped all of that, and it didn't, because they took too long, because they waited. And now we're in this weird position where we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on with Microsoft. Nothing feels safe with them. You've got Hellblade 2 coming out in a couple weeks, right? 2 weeks, I think, a little less than 2 weeks. It's gotten one piece of advertising. It got a tweet that didn't say anything about the game. The tweet said, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, May 21. That's all it says. That's your marketing. I'll link it to you. There. That's your Hellblade marketing. That game has been in development for as long as anybody can remember. It was in the Xbox Series reveal video, I think. And it's only just now coming out. And that tweet is the advertising. I haven't seen anything else about that. That's the sort of thing. Hi, Trios. I know you're here already, but hi. That's the sort of thing that makes me think that it can't be an accident. It can't. There's no way. There's no way that, oh, we didn't think that would be a problem if we didn't advertise the game. No, it's on purpose. Hellblade isn't exactly a blockbuster IP. It's not, but they are trying to market it, or at least it felt like they were trying to market it as the premier game on the system. It was going to be their, including Halo, it was going to be their premier exclusive. It was shown during, I believe, the reveal trailer of the Series X and S, which meant that it was the game that was supposed to show you the power of the Xbox. There's so much gone into it, and it gets it. And even if it's not right, even if it's not the most premier exclusive IP, doesn't it deserve, for the amount of development time that it's gotten? Doesn't it deserve more than a tweet 2 weeks before it comes out that doesn't say anything provocative about the game? It's not like join Senua as she attempts to save her village. Like, it's nothing like that. It literally says the name of the game and a date. It's got to be more than that. It is starting to feel like they're doing it on purpose. It is. And again, I'm not the biggest conspiracy. I love a good silly conspiracy. But it when there's too much evidence, it feels like there's too much evidence. There's too much that leans into, yes, that could actually be true. It's just kind of what it feels like. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to think here about them. Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Thank you for the 3-stream streak. Very much appreciate that. Jim Ryan era spending is also an issue Sony's been dealing with. We're seeing the negative results with the Bungie purchase and Spider-Man 2's budget. It does give off, we want to close up shop. Hellblade is not strong enough franchise for this, enough said marketing. Yeah, it's just so weird. Does it inspire any confidence? If you were a developer, let's look at it from a different perspective. If you were a developer that was working on Hellblade 2, and this was going to be your big thing, right? This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to get your game out there, make yourself known, right? Big Microsoft game, the premier game on the Xbox, or at least that's what we were led to believe for a little while there. And you sit there every day and you go online and you look and there's nothing. You're not seeing YouTube videos for your game. You're not seeing print ads for your game. You're not seeing tweets going out about your game. No one wants to write an article about your game. You're not seeing anything for it. And then Xbox, the company, puts out that tweet, and that's your marketing. Does that sound good? And again, even if it's a success, is it going to be enough of a success for you to keep your job? Because you can't say yes. You can't. You cannot say that if Hellblade 2 is successful, Ninja Theory employees keep their job. You can't. And that's... It's so frustrating, man. And it's frustrating that as a consumer, I can't help them. I can't do anything to help them. If I go and buy Hi-Fi Rush right now, if I buy 100 copies of Hi-Fi Rush, Tango doesn't get their job back. It's so annoying, man. It sucks. It sucks. Yeah, to get a tweet. Only a tweet. Hold on, I'm jumping through this. To put it this way, Nintendo put more effort into Endless Ocean and Princess Peach Showtime than Xbox has done for Hellblade. I'll play Devil's Advocate. Still looking forward to the Indiana Jones game. The GIF of that tweet doesn't even work for me. It's not a GIF. It's just an alt. That's alt stuff. The Hellblade tweet. Yeah, that's not. I thought the same thing too. It's not a GIF. It's just like you click alt and it usually has an image. Yeah. It's image description. Image of Senua crouched down, preparing for battle, and Senua. That alt image text is more. That would have been appreciated up at the top there. Isn't that bad? Isn't that bad that if you click that alt tweet, there's more description about the game in that tweet, in that description that is hidden, than there is in the actual tweet itself. Yeah. Everybody wants to Switch got pushed a bit, and it didn't even need much as it was a budget title. Yeah, it's crazy. Here's the thing: name an Xbox game that got announced that isn't Hellblade 2 or Fable. I don't know. And half the time I think they forgot about Fable. Halo, but Halo was also on PC. You know, they don't really have any exclusives. That's fine. Hellblade was supposed to be their big exclusive. And look at how they're treating it. Yeah, Fable, who knows what's going to happen with Fable? Perfect Dark, who knows? It's just frustrating, man. It sucks. And again, I'm not a dev. I'm not one of these people that lost their jobs to all of this. I'm not somebody who feels like my and I say life's work, right? And I know that sounds extreme, but for some people it is. People, look at companies like Nintendo, and these people, they work there for their whole lives. It's their dream to work for a company that they want to work for. Nobody wants to work for a company that you don't like. Nobody wants to work for a company and say, boy, I can't wait to get tired of this in 3 years. Everybody wants people want to work for a company that they want to work for, that they want to be happy for. This is some people's lives, and it's being shut down and crapped on by bad decision making for some sort of bottom line that we don't really get to see. We don't really understand. They brought all these studios and IPs and done nothing with them. You didn't see, apparently the rumor mills have heard that Perfect Dark has fallen into a deeper dev hell than it already was, which is probably related to this. It's probably just this. Yeah, Mr. Roach, they've been laying people off. This is not the first time this year. This isn't the fourth time this year that this has happened. What will the gaming landscape look 10 years from now? I mean, assuming there isn't another big giant shift. Oh, wait. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Xbox. Hold on. Breaking news. Xbox has tweeted about Hellblade with a video.
Dreamt of this.
Oh my God, I have dreamt of this.
I've dreamt of this. This place of fear and fury.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for playing this audio, but... Wow!
What will I become?
Digital only.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Holy smokes! She's talking about Microsoft. Oh my God. And then the tweet says, a brutal journey of survival through a land plagued by the horrors of myth and tyranny. Wish list and pre-install Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Where was this yesterday? Why did you think that tweet from yesterday was okay? Especially amidst all the other crap. Oh my God. Sure fired up the place with Senua now. At least it helps. I didn't like the fire controller. No, it did not. Not to mention Wario. It sounds kind of really bad when you said fired. And again, that keeps swinging at them. But then we have Nintendo with the industry high employee happiness and retention rate, who laughed about how Mario didn't have a deadline during planning because that didn't seem healthy for creative growth. It doesn't. It's not. Because it's not. It says I mentioned about a quick damage control. Yeah, Latimer. Someone at Microsoft found out what I was saying. That's amazing. That's incredible. Hold on. I'm gonna steal your comment there. She's talking about Microsoft. Okay. Sorry, I had to steal that comment. Okay. Wow. I just read the blurb. Is all of Bethesda sunk, or is Sony own them now? No, Microsoft is just. My theory is they're doing it on purpose. They have to. It seems a little too. It seems too blatant. It seems too blatant for them to for you to be able to convince me that it's just kind of an accident. That's wild. All right. What were the other topics? The other topics were. I had something else. I pre-ordered the. So much stuff has happened in the last couple of days, and I don't remember if we talked about any of it because we didn't stream yesterday. We talked about the NES tournament game, right? Granted, as Costin is saying, there are games coming and they look great, but man, this sucks and it builds trust issues to support them. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to support them or not. Redfall was supposed to get a very important DLC to make a single player offline playable, and now they're not going to release it. I'm very excited for Nintendo World. We talked about the rumors. Okay, so I knew we talked about it at some point. So they did actually straight up announce it in a very cool ad, by the way. They actually did a very cool video about it's marketing. Am I right? They did a very cool video about it where they had previous contestants in the Nintendo World Championships from past years. Little surprised, little bummed out. I didn't get a phone call. You know, I was at the 1990 tournament. I made it to the big day on Sunday. I did not, unfortunately, go to Florida, but I did make it to the big day. So, you know, I'm kind of bummed out that I never got a phone call. Maybe next time. Are you excited for Microsoft Microsoft Office 365 and Xbox on Steam? Using PowerPoints and spreadsheets. They're gonna roll Game Pass. They're gonna roll Game Pass into Word. They fear my power. Secret Boss, as they should. Yeah, somehow keeping the game bad is better than trying to make it good. Sounds like someone's cutting losses. Not dropping names. They're in the windows. They allowed you to pre-order the physical edition. That's your gift. Not going to Florida is what puts us in the bat. Oh, that's right. That's right. I would have destroyed the guy. Who was the guy? I thought it was Thor Ackerland. Who's the guy that won the 1990 Nintendo tournament? Prepare your the Elder Scrolls 6 XL. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. I like it. I kind of like it. They're going to import the Japanese version for the fan. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. He is in the video. Okay. Would I want Nintendo World Championship 99? I don't need that. I would like it as a mode in this game, but I don't need it as a separate download or anything. So they announced the game. They finally did announce it. Like I said, it was a very cool trailer. It's going to sort of be what we were saying. Hold on. Atomic. Twitch for the story sees Spence walking out of the Xbox meeting after making another bet that could kill Xbox. He walks to a private bathroom, removes his jacket, drops the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, takes the mask off, revealing it's Shuntaro Furukawa pulling the strings of everything. He laughs, knowing that he was the mastermind behind these dumb decisions, destroying Xbox from the inside. Yeah, there you go. He's an insider. I don't think they would even bother. Oh, it was nice to see people so excited for Nintendo World that after an hour, Twitter began to push all the people will pay money. Yeah, of course they did. Of course. I saw that. Also enjoying F-Zero 99. It was me, Xbox. It was me all along. Okay. So it's really cool. I think it's really cool. It's going to be 12 Nintendo games, 12 NES games. I don't have the list here, but it's 12 NES games. And they're going to have challenge modes within each one of them. They're going to have little challenges. I'm assuming it's going to be like multiple challenges that are associated to games, because I did see like the original NES tournament cartridge was you have to play. You get about 6 minutes. It was like 6.5 minutes. You get 50 coins in Super Mario Brothers. And then once you collect the 50th coin, it transfers to a short track in Rad Racer. It's probably about, I'd say, 2/3 the length of the original first track in Rad Racer. And then you spend the rest of the time playing Tetris. Whatever you get as your score in Super Mario Bros. Is your score. Whatever you get in Rad Racer is multiplied by 10 and then added. And then whatever you get in Tetris is multiplied by 25 and then gets added to that. So really the goal of that game was to get to Tetris as fast as you can. This game seems to basically be, this is almost like mini games. Let me find the actual thing here. Nintendo. No, not. Don't do that. Stop. Hang on. Oof. No, not brother. How does it do that? Nintendo. Not. Hold on. I'm gonna go to the actual game page here, just so we can look it up. Yes. That one here. Okay. Trying to see what the best description. I'm looking for a breakdown of all the games. Okay. Also, just like how I run is the overpriced OG NWC card, these should not be anywhere. I don't know. We'll talk, let's go over what you get with it. I don't know that I agree with that particularly, mostly because I already pre-ordered it. So it's going to be 13 games. It's 13 games. So you're going to take on challenges from 13 games. There's one kind of omission here that I think is kind of sad. As far as I think it's an omission. I can't really see it. So you've got Mario 3, Balloon Fight, Excite Bike, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario 2, Mario Lost Levels, Mario 1, Adventures of Link. Very happy for Adventures of Link. Legend of Zelda, and I wish this would scroll faster so I could see the other two. Scroll! Metroid and Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, right? That's it? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Zelda's in the trailer. It's over 150-ish. I think he calls it divided by 13 games, varying goals. Yeah, varying goals, very similar to what NES Remix did. Mini challengers per game. So I think this is really cool. One odd omission from this. Two odd omissions, actually, I'm going to say. There's two odd omissions now that I think about it. It's weird to me that this is the NWC NES edition, right? What's it actually called? What's the actual game called? Yeah, Nintendo World Championships NES edition. It's weird to me that this is based off of the original NWC, and that was what they kind of showed was the original NWC. And there's no Rad Racer or Tetris. I do find that incredibly odd that this is it's meant to invoke the memory of the original NWC, especially with the pack-ins for the deluxe edition. And there's no Rad Racer or Tetris. So you can't recreate the original experience. Square Enix, sure. No, Rad Racer was made by Square. It was a black box game, but it was made by Square, so you can argue that. But Rad Racer, when's the last time they made the last Rad Racer was Rad Racer 2 on the NES. Like, they've never really used that IP. So I feel like it wouldn't be that difficult to get that. Tetris, I mean, obviously they have a good relationship with Tetris. You've got Tetris 99. You've got, don't you have Tetris on one of the thing? You've got the Game Boy Tetris on the Game Boy app. I don't think you have the NES Tetris on. Do you have the NES Tetris on the NES app? Yeah, Tetris is owned by Tetris became the Tetris company or something some time ago. Yeah, you have Tetris. Well, I'm thinking more specifically like something that would imply that Nintendo has a good reputation, a good relationship with the Tetris company, and that's like Tetris Effect is on multiple systems. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, Dr. Mario isn't there. That's a little surprise because Dr. Mario, I believe, was one of the tournaments, but I think that was the Super Nintendo version. I don't know. Dude, I'd argue in this gen we see tons of companies suddenly unwilling to share. Yeah. Tetris music is in Smash Bros. So yeah, I do find that to be strange that those two games are omitted. Let's see here. Yeah, but there's going to be a ton of challenges, different things that you can do. I think that's really, really cool. So the game itself is going to be $30. I'm sad it's just DK and not the much better Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong Jr. better than Donkey Kong? That's a hot take. That's a hot take. If they're like 50 or 100 NES games for a crap ton of variety, that would make it. Well, no, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Gold. That's why I wanted to address this. So the game is $30. The game is not $60. The game is $30. For the digital version. $60 gets you the deluxe version, which is a physical copy of the game, a cool box for everything, a pin set, 13 art cards. It basically looks like 13 cards that are the cover art for each game. And the Japanese version, they are the Famicom covers. And I'm kind of divided on this one. I'm kind of divided on this last thing, because this is the big thing that everybody's talking about. There is a gold NES edition replica cartridge like a replica NES cartridge with the sleeve. I think that's very cool. And I thought that was very cool. Right up until I saw the Japanese one. And the Japanese one comes with the physical game, the box it all goes in, the pins, the art cards that are, like I said, they're some of them are Famicom and some of them are Famicom disc cards. So the cards are like different sizes. And it comes with 2 Famicom controllers. Not replicas, working controllers. I couldn't have gotten a cool NES cartridge and 1 controller? I didn't even need 2. I would have liked to. I couldn't get 1 NES controller? Come on, man. Yeah, the NSO controllers, but it's the NES one, well, the Famicom one specifically for Japan. And they get like the 2-pack. Come on. Oh, Mr. L, I saw Pat did respond to that, and he said that the cartridge makes it an instant buy for him, so he is picking that up. But the cartridge I don't think does anything. It's definitely not a Nintendo, like a working Nintendo cartridge, but it's just a display, and it comes with a little display stand for it. I think that's really cool, but I kind of would have rather had a controller. Like, give me the NES replica cartridge that doesn't do anything, and give me 1 controller that works. I don't need 2 controllers. Yeah, Contra's Konami. Yeah, I think that this is very cool. And this is $60. So the base game is $30. They're going to do tournaments, they're going to do challenge runs, they're going to do score attacks. I know that I'm still wondering if they're going to have online competitive modes. I know that they mention online. Let me see here. Let me see if it says it on the page. I know that they mention online, but that could easily mean online leaderboards. I know, AGM, you posted that, but did that say online play or did it say online leaderboards? Hang on. Connection betrayed me. Oh, wait, you're there. Yeah, it's all leaderboard. So I want this to be, I can tell you right now, this could end up being a community day game. If there's good online for this, I want this to be a community day game. Yeah, see, they would have shown you online play, and that's kind of what I'm worried about. That is kind of what I'm worried about, is that I don't know if... Jump into the World Championship mode with a Nintendo Switch Online membership. Aim for a spot on the leaderboards in 5 challenges that rotate each week. Compare your personal best times with others at the end of each week, or sit back and watch the fastest run for each challenge. That's kind of a bummer, man. Up to 8 players can enjoy party mode all on a single system. Take on individual challenges or run through a series of moments in themed challenge packs with an automatic rewind feature to undo mistakes. Even completely new players can compete. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I that's kind of a bummer. I really hope that there is online play. Community Challenge Week, we can submit our scores on the Discord and compete amongst ourselves. Maybe it's very cumbersome. Are there difficulty modes where you can play more difficult points of the game? I don't know. That's a good point. I would like to see something like that where there are levels to the challenges, so you can do like a series of moderate challenges, or you can do a series of very difficult challenges. I think that would be a very interesting thing to do. I also wouldn't mind something where you can set up your own goals. If I could specifically set, you have to beat a level of Mario Bros, but I can decide which level, or I can set it so that you have to get 100 coins or 50 coins or 10 coins or something. I think that would be more interesting. I do hope they give you, like custom challenges. I do hope that there's some sort of custom challenges that are built into the game. One thing that I would really like, and this is sort of, I feel like this is kind of like, it's going to cost you 100 megabytes. Why not do this? I do kind of hope that the full games are available, right? I do kind of hope that I can just put this game in and play all of Zelda 1 and Adventure of Link Mario Bros, Kirby. Like, I think that would be kind of nice. I think that would be kind of a fun little thing to throw in there. I thought the same thing about the NES Remix. I think that, because I don't think NES Remix did that, but given the graphics of NES Remix, I like the drop shadows and stuff. I would love to play those games fully with that graphic style. So I kind of hope that there's something like that in this. I don't think it's going to be there, but I think it would be cool. I thought they confirmed. I didn't see that. Did they confirm? It might be on this page here. NES games, NES games are not included in their entirety. Oh, it's the first thing. It's the first little, like, asterisk at the bottom. Yeah, so it's not going to be the full game. That's an L. Man, that seems like such an easy thing to do, and you didn't do it. I don't know about that. But yeah, it's $30, $60 for the collector's edition, which I already pre-ordered. So I think it's going to be cool. I hope that there's some sort of online. I think that's the one thing that Nintendo gets wrong when they do this stuff, is that their online always sucks. It doesn't have good online functionality, or doesn't have any online functionality, right? It's the thing. I still say it's the thing that killed Strikers. I still say, even with the limited roster, and even with limited stages, and even with whatever gameplay there might be, or lack thereof, I still think Strikers would have been more popular if it was 4v4. You were so close. You were so close to a good idea. And that it just feels like it happens with Nintendo. It feels like they always drop the ball somewhere around online. If you need online for the function, you already have those games, so why not just include them? I guess that's why. Because all of these games that's a good question. Are all of these games available on the app? There's nothing in this that's not on the app, right? What do we say here? Lost Levels, Mario 1, Link, Zelda, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Mario 3, Balloon Fight, Excite Bike, Ice Climber. These are all on the app, right? Yeah, okay. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. I don't know. I just think it would be kind of a fun thing to have, but yeah. You wanted free games? Wait to see online. Nintendo's been known to wait, especially since this comes out after the June Direct. We'll probably see it there. Likes the type of game for NES, N64, Game Boy Advance, N64. You said N64 twice. Making single player games competitive sounds interesting to me. Yeah, I mean, I've often celebrated the idea of like Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, Mario 35. I like that. I like the idea of gamifying these simple games, or competitioning, tournamenting, altering these types of games for that. I think that it's a fun little thing to do. What's this? Are you going to be getting Animal Well? It's getting amazing reviews, and it was published by Donkey. Animal Well? What's that? There was one other thing other than the Nintendo World Championships, and I forget what I wanted to bring up. Animal Well? What is this? Is this like Terraria? I'll mute that and play it. Oh, I did see this pop up. Oh, this is that game that looks like I remember I remember I was happy with this game because it's a retro style game, like a pixel art game, but it has the scan lines. Because I always get pissed off because everybody talks about retro inspired games and retro style graphics games, and then they don't have scan lines. I love scan lines. I think the scan lines make retro games look so awesome. No, not the growth of the PS Plus and Game Pass. I kind of rolled that all into the. It was another thing. It was another game that got announced or something. I don't remember what it was. Remember when there was a fan-made recreation of Mario 35? We got DMCA'd by Nintendo. Hold on. Let me go back up here. Oh. Somebody. Who is that? Who is that? It's a Sonic thing. Okay. It's a Sonic thing. The thing NSO does that I will never understand is for the class collections, you can only have groups of 2, while for N64 collection, you can actually have people in the party watching, and you can pass the controller. Oh, can you really? I didn't know you could do that. We tried the N64 online, just very briefly. If this is like NES Remix, which it seems to be, the challenges range from get a coin to do this known exploit in a timeline. Some are much. Yeah, because you're right. NES Remix had like you have to do the 100 life trick in Mario Bros, which is a very difficult trick to do. You're right. There were, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do more. I wouldn't be surprised if later on down the line they add new games to the experience, or they add new challenges. Like this doesn't, and you know, Mario Party Superstars is kind of making me doubt their continued dedication to some of these things. But then you see other games, you see stuff like Tetris. Tetris is getting a new theme. Still bummed out that Tetris 99 has never had a Tetris Effect theme. Kind of bummed out about that. Yeah, they would have shown it as a feature, but they didn't. The game releases in a few months. Yeah, it's like what, 2 months? There's no traditional online. Yeah, it's just leaderboards. That's such a bummer, man. I still pre-ordered it. I'm still gonna get it. So, you have groups of 4 for the 64 collections, and the group leader can pass control to someone else. Single player games included. I guess maybe Executor, is that probably for, because Mario Party, you needed all 4 controllers, right? Looking forward to SNES championships that include Star Fox Summer Challenge. Yeah, and like somebody was saying, I think it was Kia that said about they wish there were other games. I think there will be. I think there'll at least be a Super Nintendo version of this. I think there's a good reason they named it the NES edition. Because yeah, there was the Super Nintendo Campus Challenge stuff. So I do think that there's precedent for them to do more. I'd be surprised if they go any further than that, but it would be nice to see something N64 related. GBA I think would be nice. I don't think they'd go much further than that. Hopefully later on they do include the full games though, especially for those later ones, because Super Nintendo games, they're probably not going to be on, assuming that it's games that aren't already on the service. I like that. I think that would have been a cool feature. The left trick by accident in the Game Boy Color version as a kid. Oh, for Mario 1? For Mario 1? Same what I say. I don't think low frame rates are bad with how fast Sonic characters are. I just see horrible button lag. Per the physical edition of Tsukihime. I don't know what Tsukihime is. I believe the idea was the NES and SNES were onto wired for 2 players. N64 was wired for 4. Which includes an art book that's getting censored for PlayStation. There's also technically a Switch one, but I guess that's for 2050. Yeah, I think the highest they go is Game Boy. I don't think they would. You don't think they would go N64? I question whether or not they would go N64, but I think it's possible. Yeah, Game Boy's probably a Game Boy Color. I think they could do it for GBA. No, the other thing was that Sonic game. Which I don't want to talk. I don't want to get too deep in. Here, I'll link you the video. I'll link you the video so you can understand my issue with this. So they announced Sonic. What's it called? Sonic Rumble. This is going to be an all mobile game. It looks like a party game, sort of Fall Guys-y. It looks cute. It's got a bunch of characters. 32-person battle royale. Looks like a lot of fun. It does. And I'm not even being a smartass. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I think this is the kind of very fun experience. It says mobile, but I think it also says Steam. Let me go to the end of the trailer here. Available. It just says available this winter. I could have sworn somewhere it said Steam or something, but I think for right now it just says mobile. This video that they put out runs like ass. The game looks terrible as far as a frame rate. And you can come at me and you can say it's just the video. You can say that the frame rate isn't that important. You can say whatever you want. You put out a trailer because you want people to get an impression of what your game is going to be like. And this is the trailer that you put out. It runs terribly. I'm not... See, you want to argue with me about 30 frames versus 60 frames and whether or not playable is enough or whether you think playable is an insult. You can argue that all you want. But I think it's fair for everybody to agree that 30 is the minimum and it should run stably. And what I saw in that trailer was a terrible looking game. The game itself, a terribly running looking game. The game itself looks like it's a lot of fun. But that's the trailer that you put out. I don't understand that. Why did you think that that was a good idea? Nobody watched that video and said, we can't do this? That's such a bad thing to do. And it's weird because I see so many people. I sometimes I really do feel like a snob. And we joke, right? We joke about the 30 and 60 and all of that stuff. Sometimes I do feel like a snob because I go to the comments down here and right under the video, and every once in a while I see somebody saying frame rate, but there's so many people that are like, oh my God, it's got this character. I can't wait. It looks exciting. And I'm sitting there like, doesn't this feel like it's a problem? Though, doesn't that raise any red flags? That video looks as bad as it does? Yeah, if not 30, stable. It's not. It's 30 the minimum. Stable 30 should be the minimum. I don't think that I don't think that you're allowed to argue for anything else. I think that that's insane. Fun fact, this trailer, part of it leaked before a month or so ago. Looking this laggy, so they had time and still used this trailer, and people complained when it leaked. And yeah, at least you could have said, well, that was because it wasn't ready yet. Right? And then fixed it. Some Sonic Fall Guys, okay, never playing it on the Switch. Uncle said I could say whatever I like. Oh, okay, that's why. Hi, like. More like people are just focused on other things. Sega has control over releasing the video. They have no excuses over the game looking like this unless it's something they can't change about the game, which is a bigger problem. that's a much more gigantic problem. Counterpoint, they're Sonic fans. Look up any slot. Okay. I tell no lies. It's a problem, but not a deal breaker for some people. I mean, I don't know that they're gonna think that though. I think that people want to believe that. They want to believe that it's not a deal breaker, but then they're going to play it. And then they're going to look at it and they're going to say, this is unplayable. And then and this is the stuff that pisses me off. They're going to play it. It's going to feel unplayable because it's going to run terribly. And then they're going to say, how dare they? How could we have known? And this is how you could have known. I think that this is wild, man. I don't know. That's why I wasn't really going to spend a ton of time talking about this particular thing, but it's just like, why did you think that that was an okay video to put out? Nobody watched it? What did you export it and make it public? No one clicked on the video on YouTube or wherever and said, let's watch this first to make sure that it runs okay. Because it's not the video. By the way, it's not the video. When you look at the gameplay is what's laggy. When you look at the little animations and stuff and the other crap that goes around, it's not the video. It's the gameplay. Like, nobody said maybe not. Maybe we don't put this out right now until we can get a stable version of the game working to record it. Even if you recorded it on a supercomputer and you got it running perfectly, and then at the bottom it said, recorded from PC. Even then, it would have raised the flag for me, but I would have said, all right, well, if the PC can run it, it's probably not going to be that crazy intensive. That's the video you put out. That's just really bad. I'm sorry. I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. They just excited of some of the characters are remembered. They didn't give a damn. They're like, release it. They'll eat it anyway. And they bought Apple Arcade for us. Sonic fans are used to bad optimization for their games. I mean, then it's never going to change. Yeah, I'd rather play it on PC. Absolutely. Person who's all right, done. Wait, I sliced the wrong game record. No, oh, I'm getting fired. Recorded from PC, and everyone's like, so you can release it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. For me, I don't care as long as the button lag doesn't get in the way. The button lag is absolutely going to get in the way. I don't doubt for a second that the button lag is going to be a problem, because remember, you're playing it on a mobile device, which means it's not button lag, it's touch screen lag. Had to say that one very carefully. Touch screen lag. So it's not even button lag. I just remember, where the hell is Everwild? Wow, Everwild. You're right, that is a name I haven't heard in a while. Wild. Everwild. What are we talking about? The Sonic Rumble, the mobile game that they put out a video for. Everwild. Let's see what happened. Let's see. Everwild's here. Coming day one to Game Pass. When? Brand new. No trailer. No nothing. It's on there. Introducing Everwild, a brand new IP from Rare. Unique and unforgettable experiences await in a natural and magical world. I've never heard a more mundane I've never heard a more mundane, non-specific description of a video game. Unique and unforgettable experiences await in a natural and magical world. What is that game even about? That could be Animal Crossing. There's nothing there. That could be Witcher. There's nothing there to describe that. That's hysterical. Genre, series, blah, blah, blah. Controllers. There's nothing there. It's literally nothing. Yeah, never sold. No, for real. That's the one. Where's Metal Slug Tactics? I mean, we're missing a lot of those games. There's a lot. And Marcos, you see what I'm talking about? I would not be wondering where's Everwild and where's Metal Slug Tactics if those games were never announced until they were ready to go, or at least close to it. You get to press buttons and feel engaged. Yeah, review for a video game. This game uses a controller, says IGN. They still gave it a 6. Yeah, that was the last thing, was that Sonic thing. I was just like, I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. I don't. And I know, because I've had that before. I've had, when we watch trailers and stuff, and I see choppy frame rates, and people say, oh, well, it's just a trailer. It's like, yeah, but that's what they chose to show. That's what they chose to get you excited about the game. Yeah, this is the game of all time. It's like one of my favorite movie reviews for like a new movie that comes out is, I stayed until I left. It's like, wait, that didn't mean anything at all. Congratulations. You have narrowed your guess down to 500,000 games. Yeah, right? I stayed till I left, says Uncle Silver. Like, big review. I gave this movie 2 thumbs. That's it. There's no review there. I just gave it 2 thumbs. Oh, man. Alrighty. Audience says this is the best. Yeah, audience says this is the best movie they've seen today. It's the best movie they've seen within the last 2 hours. I gave this game a score. Jokes on them. Never said the thumbs were mine. He just cut off thumbs and he just left them in the theater. Oh man. All right. So I fell asleep 5 minutes in. 10 out of 10. Would sleep again. Speaking of movies, I say the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and I say the Kingdom of the Planet Saw. Kingdom of the Planet. I review it. Ape Together Strong. Okay, I think you said Saw there, but I didn't even know there was one. To be honest with you, how many of those Planet of the Apes movies are there at this point? Like, not counting the originals. You know what I mean? There's got to be. That's so wild that they rebooted that, or they, I guess remade that series. They reinitiated it so long ago. There's only 4. Why does it feel like there's 8 of them? Why does it feel like there's 8 of those movies? What was the first one? The first one was who was the guy in the first one? I was gonna say Mark Wahlberg. It's not Mark Wahlberg. Who's in the first Planet of the Apes? So you're saying 9 or 10? 5 original and 4 of the like when was the first reboot? I mean that's like early aughts, right? Why am I thinking that the first reboot was in the aughts? Like 2005. I don't think it was that early, but 2011. 2001 or 2011? Hold on. I'm confused. Rise was the first one. Oh, okay. See, all right. So I'm going back to the one in the aughts. That's what I'm thinking of. Wow, that's how old I am. That's how old I'm getting. That when I say the remake, or when I say the remake, I'm not even talking about the current franchise. I'm talking about the one before it. But apparently, you said that they're related. Yeah. What was the first one? You're saying 2001? Planet of the Apes. American science film. Blah blah blah. Remake. Is this the first one? Yeah, so this is the first one. So the one that I'm thinking of as first was 2001. 5 minutes falling asleep 5 minutes in sounds like me at Justice League. I think part of why I don't care about Planet is because I was introduced with the 2001 and I hated it. Yeah, and that's sort of like the Mark Wahlberg reboot was 2001. So it is Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, because the reboot you're saying in 2011 is the same timeline, right? Isn't that just a reboot at a different time in the series? The one in 2001 was like the OG. That's the one with Caesar, right? Wasn't that the one with Caesar the monkey? Yeah, 2011 was James Franco. But wasn't the one in 2001, wasn't that the first one with Caesar the monkey? Or was that the James Franco movie? Yeah, I that's what I was saying. Like, it feels like there's like 8 of those movies, and you're saying there's 9? Wait, hold on. I'm on the page here. Planet of the Apes. Rise of Planet of the... Oh, wait. Oh, there wasn't anything... Okay, that's my confusion. There wasn't anything after the 2001 movie. 2001, and then 2011, 2014, 2017, 2024. Okay. All right, that was my confusion. I thought there were more movies after the 2001, but before the 2011. Okay, so that was my confusion there. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. Yeah, there's a massive gap between the third and fourth movie, too. Yeah, I think it said 2011, 2014, 2017, and then 2024. I think that was the window there, the gap there. Which, 2020 kind of threw everything off. So I at this point, you don't know if the 2024 movie was something that was in the works earlier, and then they had to halt everything, or like you have no idea. See, the pizza restaurant. Oh, okay. The pizza restrictions. Wait, Kia. I just thought you were putting Caesar on the diet. I mean, I myself had pizza restrictions based on my diet. Their movie started off the Switch era, and the new one is ending it. Okay, so they are kind of wrapping up this era of Planet of the Apes. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a new video about there's a video or a presentation or something about the new ROG Ally, which I'm not gonna pay attention to that. It's a good movie. You can watch the OG 5 and then the 2011 to the current one. Skip marks if you wish. If you wish, as it's the only one that's bad, which is a good track record when you have 1 out of 10 movies being bad. Yeah, that's probably that's not a bad track record. All right. So yeah, so give me a few minutes. I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'm gonna get more coffee, and then when I come back, we're gonna get back into Final Fantasy 16. I wanted to get into it earlier, but Microsoft keeps being stupid. So give me a few minutes, and I will be right back. All right, everybody. Time for some Warzone. No, it's not. Time for some Final Fantasy 16. Nope. Final Fantasy 16. Okay. Later, Trios, if you haven't left already, have a good one. Thank you for stuff. I'm trying to finish so the Trios can hang out. Damn it. I want to finish so the Trios can actually hang out with us. Let me change that. I think I changed that already. All right, so we should be good there. Okay. See, Xbox fans, that's what somebody mentioned. Like somebody mentioned that they blew up Phil Spencer's house and what's it called? In Fallout 76. I didn't see anything about that. How close am I to beating it? I have no idea. I think I only have one of those big mother crystal things left, and I mean, we had the last stream was like dramatic. The stuff that happened was significant. So I'd probably say like a quarter of the game left. I'm not gonna really do end game content stuff, so I'm not. Is that like is that like an irradiated zone around his house? Did they really nuke it in that? Oh my god. Where are we? So let's see. And is that what that is? Is that what that means? Is that it's like an irradiated zone around his house? That's awesome. I know that I shouldn't feel bad for like. That's kind of funny. Yeah, we just beat Bahamut. Oh, it summons elite monsters around the ground zero. Oh my god. I mean, I'm sure he's got some dev contacts that'll help him fix that, but I also feel like if he tries to do that and take advantage of that, he's just going to get crapped on even more. All right, that's the thing for the monster hunt, right? If it's giving a side quest, just giving you playing through how you're playing, probably should. Regardless, if we try to get you to do the good ones, you shouldn't have much more to go. We're ready to take out the last mother crystal, I guess. So I at this point, I'm not really sure. Aid Martha's rest in its dilemma. Oh, so I have to go to all three places, right? Oh, so let me see here. So where was the? Use the hunt board to locate the Bomb King. Crispin's hidden in the fridge. He hid in the fridge like Indiana Jones. Kia, the sad thing is that would actually be a good idea as advertising for the next Indiana Jones game. You know, for Bomb King, a build that might interest you. That's what it is. The Croc in Sandbreck. I think it says it here, right? Doesn't it say that here? Chicken on turn, so it's 10 times the size of the original. Yeah, the Croc Sandbreck. Yeah, that would actually be hilarious advertising. All right, so I'm going to Sandbreck. This is all one big place, right? I kind of wish. You know what's funny is that the thing isn't here to let you know where it is. So, oh wait, and I can look at the local map here. But I couldn't figure out where the Croc was. We think it's here. I wonder about is it a disservice to direct you or streamer to the good quests when relatively you had no interest in doing them? So you never noticed their absence? It depends, because sometimes it comes across like backseating, like, you know, go do this thing. I think it's a disservice if you. I think it's more of a disservice if you tell people what's coming. You know, but if I was going to avoid, let's say there was a cool side quest over here and I was very actively going to avoid this area, I don't necessarily think it's a disservice to say, by the way, if you go to that area, there's a cool side quest. But if it's clear that I'm going to explore everything, then it does start to become, all right, well, don't tell me that it's going to be cool. Just let me find out for myself that it's going to be cool. But I'm actively, like, in that particular regard, I'm actively not going anywhere I don't have to. But this is a side quest that I do want to do. So, like I said that I'm doing the side quests that are related to power-ups and stuff. So if you told me, hey, go here, there's a side quest that offers you a power-up, I would say, okay, that's great. Thank you. I would appreciate that if I was going to miss it. But if I'm clearly going to get that side quest and then you tell me, all right, here's what you have to do, then it becomes, all right, well, hold on, I'm already going to take the quest. Let me try and figure it out myself. So we have to go into the area here. Can I even, I mean, this sounds like a lot of map. Or it looks like a lot of map. If I was gonna point out stuff, it would be only for things that that would lead to new gear or abilities worth of crap. Otherwise, I would let the streamer discover it for themselves. Yeah, and then even then, when you did that, you would say, "Hey, there's a quest over here that's gonna give you another potion." I was like, "Okay, cool." If you start telling me what the quest is, then I think, "All right, well, you gotta let me figure that out first."
Let's go.
Oh, when I was thinking, because in this instance earlier, we kind of forced you to do some side quests. Now you enjoyed them, but you not have done them if we hadn't insisted. I wonder if that taints your impression of the game. Not particularly. I think we had fun doing them. What am I doing? Gallop. Oh, I have to hold it to gallop. I thought it was like switch on. All right, so let's go this way. I think this is the croc. It seems like the only place on the map that I haven't opened, and it's the only place on the map that it could probably be. Oh, is that it right there? Wait. No, that's a... Is that a different thing? Wait, that's like a... Is that a different monster? Like, am I headed in the right direction? Do I have the right idea about it being somewhere over here? That's another hunt, right? Here, let's see if we can get it. Why not? Dismount. No, okay. All right. Well, we found another one, so let's do this one. Hey, it looks like a Garuda. Aruna. They didn't have to be hot, right? They didn't have to do that. They did that on purpose. Top of the map. Okay. They didn't have to do that. What link? Oh, that one? When is it giving away free nuggets every week for the entire month? Wait, what? How do you get free nuggets every week? Every Wednesday, they mean? Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday or every week? Did they give you the impression that the quests are all like ish similar? But what we're doing is really showing you the good stuff based on your thoughts, not letting you figure it out. Yeah, but I'm also streaming. That's the problem, is that I'm also streaming. So, you know. Aha. Woo! Oh wait, I don't remember how these work. Oh no! I don't remember how the Bahamut ones work. Ah, damn it, I wasn't close enough. Ah, I messed that up. Why does it keep, It keeps untargeting the boss. Ow. I don't remember the abilities. Ah. Okay, I mean, that's just disrespectful at this point. That was just disrespectful. That was so bad. I'm sorry. The hunting actually towards the top. If you're streaming, but to that, if you were streaming, you'd skip them, which is, maybe, because sometimes when I'm not, to be honest, Dragoon, depending on the kind of game that it is, I don't think that this game is very bloated with side quests. This is the kind of game that I probably would do the side quests, because there's not that many of them, and because the ones that are in this game are relatively, like in Xenoblade, I did a ton of side quests, because the side quests in that game are structured very well. They give you the side quests that are relevant to the area you're about to go to, not to the one that you just were. And when you complete the side quest, you automatically turn it in. So that game had a good side quest structure. I felt like I was getting something value out of it. I felt like I was getting something valuable out of it, and it was not cumbersome or intrusive to my linear experience in order for me to do those side quests. This game kind of works that way. Rest well. In the correct area is not the right direction. Okay. Well, I know I'm in the right area just because this is all connected and it's all considered whatever sandbreck. You know, you gotta kind of grab the controllers. That well, you've been missing out if you didn't do those side quests. And when before saying that you wouldn't think that. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if I should say this, but I took a screenshot of the croc. The issue is the quests I have on this. Oh yeah, so I won't look at that then. Yeah, just tell me where to go. I'm in the right area, but not the right. Oh, you're not even in the right area. Where am I? Hold on. Because this is all, it's all connected. These warp points from out there are all in the same spot. Like, is this a place that I can see the warp on the far right, the dragon? This place? The dragon's Airy? Oh, it's out here? Why did you invite me to a party? I'm not joining your party. JFam TWH, thank you so much with rating with the party of 7. Thank you everybody for stopping in, for hanging out. Very much appreciate that. You can see the entrance on the map, but not the area. Oh, okay. So I have to go into here. Yeah, ignore that. What was that all about? Hi everybody, from JFam stream. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're having a good day. We're playing some oh my god, it says 7. Playing some 16, Final Fantasy 16. So wait, so am I going there or am I not going there? To the south of the way. Wait, what? I thought I was supposed to go through the gateway here. Am I not supposed to go through there? See, you guys are distracting me. Open world. No, see, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go to the world map. Just look south. Dragons, Airy, Mortfield. So I'm looking for. Is it this? Mornburn? Or is it just. Are you saying look south just because the enemy's right there? Past it. This thing? Is it this right here? Or is it this? Ah, I haven't found it. So, okay. Okay. It's that little spot where I didn't open up the map. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Time to fight.
No, it's not. You think it's time to fight, but it's not. That's what you think, Max Payne. Okay, so straight ahead. I think it was to my left there. 2 gil? Oh my god, we're loaded. Hold on, let me go back and buy 9 potions with my 2 gil. Are you on a Tauntaun from Star Wars? I mean, it could be. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so this is... Right? Okay, there we go. Oh, here we go. Look at that place. Yeah, I didn't need to mark it on your map. Somewhere in the hunt you've never been. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind. I know people kind of complain about that. They kind of complain about, but you're not going to explore it. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't... I got stuff to do. Just give me the general vicinity of where it is. Nope. Right this way. Microsoft has infinite. They don't have infinite money. They gave it all to Bobby Kotick. God, I didn't even get into that. Like, just, you know. Ugh. Ugh. All right. I don't see a bomb, but I see this little guy. Hey there, buddy. Hi. Oh, look at you. You look kind of... Oh, my God. Oh, it's BK. All right, everybody. He's flame broiled. BK. He's about to have it my way.
What we have here. Greetings, Your Majesty.
Yes. Fire, I'm sure, will work. Oh, my God. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Did we get the other ones? I think I got the other ones. Good. Ah, I didn't want to waste that. Hey, he doesn't have the... He doesn't have the little stagger meter thing. Wait, I'm concerned. No way. I tried to do something a little cheeky there. Alright, hold on. Oh! Oh my God!
Help me, boy.
Wait, what's happening? Why can't I use my potions? Oh, what was that all about? I must have panic pressed and hit the button the wrong way.
Let's try.
Yeah, I swapped to the toggle wheel. Come on, keep him down. No, stop. I'm still not entirely sure. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh, so that super attack kills them, I guess? Or is that super attack them blowing up, them self-destructing? Okay, I did terrible on that one. That was yikes. Side quest 7 rebirth. I hated every bomb fight. Bomb Ember. Okay. Oh yeah, what happened? Why didn't I have a thingy? I hate Wings of Light. You can't attack while using it. Yeah, I don't like that ability that much. The Bahamut abilities, I'm not sure. Hold on, I need to look up what the Bahamut abilities even are, because that first one. Okay, you gonna collect that? Turn around. This thing, Impulse. Am I supposed to hold the button there? That seems like a low tier move. I don't know what I'm missing on that.
That should do it.
It just seems like it has a fast recharge. And that flare breath thing, I can't do anything with that. Bahamut's big thing is if you perfect dodge, it charges the attack and eventually becomes Mega Flare. Okay. I might take Bahamut off, to be honest with you. I don't like him as much as Titan.
I have it here.
Oh, upgrade Impulse and use it with Gouge.
That's the stuff. And plenty of it, too. Enough to keep the Olympic bubbling away for a good old while. You're a gent, Sid. Let nothing say otherwise. Right then, let's get this contraption up and running.
Oh, I knew I had another thing that I wanted to discuss. Was Nintendo is going to drop Twitter support, so you're not going to be able to link directly from your Nintendo account. Remember how whenever you get like cool things that happen in games, you link it right over? You're not going to be able to do that anymore. Do I like Mountain Dew? I don't really like Mountain Dew Bahamut Blast. I was about to say Baja Blast. Bahamut Blast. That's actually kind of great. Kia, I'm not gonna lie. I would buy that.
Very impressive.
Because Bahamut a different icon, but I think I took one of the skills and attached it to another icon.
Speaking of which, I still haven't returned a favor.
There's no need. The good it will do for the hideaway is reward enough.
Don't be silly.
Ooh.
Why don't you let me take
Kia.
that bag of yours?
Bahamut Blast.
Potions in.
Code Red 13.
Magic on that.
Kind of magic.
What are the other flavors?
We happen to have isolated a substance in our test run at the Olympic that I reckon will make.
It's not worth keeping Bahamut himself, but the abilities are worth mastering.
As anything. Thought we might use it to breathe new life into old boots and the like. Save the hideaway a few gil.
Okay.
I reckon if we slap a bit on your bag, it'll loosen
Voltage?
up
That's easy.
Squeeze in a bottle
That's
of more.
Ooh, wait. No, it's not. It's got to be Ramu based, right?
I suppose.
That's the spirit. Leave it with me.
Yeah, what are the other... There's like 4 flavors for Mountain Dew, right? Other than the normal piss flavor. There's 4 fancy flavors for Mountain Dew. Baja Blast, Code Red, Voltage. Is it Voltage? Is the one of them?
Well, what do you reckon?
It certainly feels more flexible.
Right? Told you.
Thank you. I think.
No.
Voltage is the blue one. Isn't there another one?
For supporting Mid and the rest of us in our endeavors. Without you, we'd
Judgment
never been able
Volt.
to discover one
Ooh,
of the
Judgment Volt.
And I'm telling you,
Kind of like that.
plenty more where that came from.
Judgment Volt? How about that? Yeah, isn't there a 4th flavor? Is it pink? There's no way it's just called pink watermelon something, right? Well, there's regular Mountain Dew that tastes like piss, and then there's 4 flavors, right? Oh, this increases my potion capacity. You have obtained potion satchel, a treated potion satchel, hereby increasing your capacity for consumables. I thought regular potions went from 4 to 6, 3 to 4, 2 to 4. Those poor strength and stone skin that I don't ever use.
You'd think the people here had never seen a storm before.
Blue, the red, and the white. I thought there were 4. Big fan of Choco Cola and Tonberry juice. Tonberry berry juice, maybe a side of Dr. Sid. Yeah, I mostly use them for hunts. All right, so. Well, let me get to what's her face so I can buy more potions. Yeah, I never really remember to use them. Yeah, there's a pink Mountain Dew, right? Hey, buddy. You know, the smaller crystals would really be nice. Never use those potions because only potions and elixirs can heal you, so I wanted to have... Yeah, like, I want to keep all of my health stuff. But you can go to the menu. But that's the thing. I can't quick use those potions, but I can go to the menu and use them, right? And I don't even do that. Crap ton of flavors. Oh, there's a crap ton of flavors, but most are seasonal or limited. Can you give me a list? Can you grab Lila? Can you grab me a list of like all of the Mountain Dew flavors? We got to come up with we can come up with some Final Fantasy ones. Can you? I thought you can, right? You can. It's not just the potions that are on your wheel, are they?
If you're gonna buy some, be quick about it.
Dragoon, can you? Even then, that's too many steps. Dragoon, do you want menu-based gameplay or not?
It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know.
I'll buy that one.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Yeah, I'm sure speedrunners use those buff potions. I mean, that's not true, though, because speedrunners probably just, they start the game, and then they leap over a wall that you're not supposed to leap over, and then they're at the end of the game. Code Red, Berry Bird. Oh, wow, there are a lot of... Baja Blast. See, the only ones I know of are Baja Blast. What the hell? Where are some of these flavors coming from? Mountain Dew. Livewire. That's the one that I was thinking of. Livewire. There is one that says Lightning. Berry Burst and Code Red. Okay. Yeah, where are some of those names? Livewire was the one that I was trying to think of. I'm getting lost in the Dew. Do it.
Finished, are you?
I want to potion on my menu item, not on my equipment menus. All right, so we can go now. Okay, so now we can go. Livewire is the orange one. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize. Never mind. I was gonna make up some funny Final Fantasy names for them, but I didn't realize there were that many. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go that way and up. So it strikes me that the Mountain Dew is basically carbonated orange juice. I mean, is it? Regular Mountain Dew, that's one thing, man. I know people talk about that, like Code Red and Baja Blast, and that's funny. Like, Mountain Dew has that reputation as like the gamer drink, right? Doritos and Mountain Dew if you're a hardcore gamer. But realistically, I don't know anybody that loves the original Mountain Dew. It's all Code Red or Baja Blast. And I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I've even ever had one of those. Either one. I think Mountain Dew tastes terrible. So I never bothered with the fancy flavors because I figured they were just worse right? Mountain Dew tastes like piss. So Code Red probably tastes like piss with cherry. I don't know. I was going to say something grosser, but...
Lord.
It tastes like a battery. Damn, why does that sound accurate?
There have been sightings of strange creatures, I understand.
With the blue
Yes,
eyes.
they're called children.
Yes. Like a Kashik, but
Oh, really? I see. I like
I've
carbonation.
taken so many. I've lost count.
Akashic, but different.
Ultimus thralls.
They got you hooked on the corn syrup.
And what of your mistress?
Where's the next battle you get it? See if you can use the potion from the menu. Oh, yeah. I Googled and got no answer.
To ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Yeah.
Look for her there.
The real gamer drink. I mean, real gamer fuel is either G Fuel or it's Red Bull. I was addicted to carbonated drinks, so I try to stay away. I'm not addicted to them. I find soda to be like, I know soda's like the villain in the story of life, but I don't know. I think if you're hot and you're thirsty and you get a nice cold
Only 2 came back.
Coca-Cola or a Pepsi out of the fridge, or you've got, oh my god, like you pour it into a cold glass with some crushed ice. I think soda like is great. I don't think there's anything that compares. I know no amount of just drink water or iced tea or lemonade. No amount of that changes the uniqueness of drinking a soda. But I acknowledge that it's incredibly not good for you, and you shouldn't drink that much of it. I don't know, man, but I just think it's delicious. I find it refreshing, even if it's technically not.
We lost the captain this very morning.
Whatever someone hands you because you haven't eaten or drunk all day because you got into the game. Obey your thirst.
I would have you do your duty. Those at the Vale look to me for protection.
Duty.
Protect them I shall, because they are my charges and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten, the people of this town are your charges. But more than that, they are your people. Your sisters, your brothers, your lovers. So you have a choice.
Yeah, soda is bad for you, but it's also delicious. I think it's
They are
delicious.
slaughtered, or take it up.
I got another one for you. How are Doritos gamer food? I thought gamers would hate getting cheese dust on their equipment.
It's the truth, you know. This is
I think chips in general, and crisps and nachos, I think that shouldn't technically be gamer fuel. But you're right, it does kind of like, it does kind of get in the way. I think the problem is that Doritos are just so damn good. I haven't had Doritos in a little while, man, but damn it, they're good. I really should be paying attention to this because this is main quest stuff.
I'll have a word with him.
Powerade or Gatorade? I'm okay with the Powerade. I'm okay. Gatorade, I'm kind of like, I'm okay with a good Powerade, even though it's the same damn thing.
And sought to take matters into my own hands.
Cricket's called chips, crisps. Don't let the Brits get you. No, I know we got some Brits here, so I'm trying to be all inclusive.
What we need to consider is where the creatures came from.
What's
The way the survivors
Who's
speak of them
Sprite better than Mountain Dew? I mean, agreed.
Thin air. And perhaps they did.
What's
I don't know what to believe these days.
Let's stick to like crisps and chips.
We'll talk to the survivors.
What's something that you like? I know a lot of you are gonna say. What's something that you like that you think most people don't? 7-Up's better than, I haven't had a 7-Up. I don't think I've seen a 7-Up in like a decade. Do they still sell that? Yeah, see, salt and vinegar. Every time I bring up salt and vinegar, there's someone that says they like it, but nah, that's a not
That
great
thing,
for me.
It took off the captain's head.
What they do in Colorado. Pita chips, crunchy bread bits make me happy. Yeah, what's like a chip or a crisp that you like, but you feel like what flavor of Doritos?
They went for Joseph first, then me, and
then
they were just gone.
Can I be honest with you?
On the
I
road
don't
from
get
Oriflamme.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
We just passed more when
There's like a cult around Cool Ranch Doritos, and I just don't get it.
Joseph.
They're okay. They're fine. They're not anywhere near better than the regular nacho cheese Doritos. I don't get this thing about Cool Ranch. Like, people go crazy for Cool Ranch Doritos. They like, if they like Cool Ranch Doritos, they need you to know. They need everybody around to know that they love them. Yo, sour cream and onion Pringles, though, that's amazing. They always hit. Cool Ranch to me is good when I'm blazed. They're good, but their flavors is good.
I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see if they were all right. And a pack of them glowing things found me.
UK doesn't get Cool Ranch. We get Cool
I
Original.
ran for my life.
Is that what they're called? Is that literally what it's called over there?
I never did get to the village.
Leave that to us.
You don't like Doritos? Oh, I love Doritos.
At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now.
I was making a point to try Cool Ranch in case maybe it's me, but so far, I don't like them.
I truly am.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I wonder why it's not Cool Ranch. I guess ranch doesn't really mean anything to you, to people over there. Like, and from a marketing standpoint, right? It doesn't really like, oh, we'll call them Cool Ranch and they'll know what we're talking about. Like, that doesn't really mean anything over there.
I assume you have a plan?
Yeah, you don't really have ranch sauce. Trying to think of what's the equivalent over here. What's the equivalent of something that they would have to rebrand because it doesn't make any sense? I still really like plain salted. Sorry, no. Honestly, Mr. L, that's kind of exactly the answer to the question. That's a good answer because yeah, most people would say, oh, but it's so plain. It's like yeah, but it's the one that I like. I'm that way with Pringles. I don't like a plain chip, but I like a good plain Pringle. Like the red can, the very basic Pringles. I think that they're delicious. They got to be salty though. Oh, healthcare. Yeah, they have to rebrand healthcare. We won't understand. Free healthcare specifically. You can have Marmite. Isn't Marmite? I thought Marmite was like a Australia thing. No, that's not Marmite. That's what's the Australia one that I'm thinking of? What is happening in this place?
You deserve a rest.
Vegemite. Vegemite. That's the the Vegemite. That's the Australian stuff.
Clive,
Slay the enemies.
I see them. With me.
Oh, look, it like hits them. Okay, I see what's happening here. Okay, I mean, this is a bit disrespectful, but... Wow! Can I not do anything in this? Oh, okay, I have to do something. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I understand that now.
Should I try?
Save your strength.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I like that much. Wait, there's one casting a spell, isn't there? Oh! Oh, that hits from far away. Okay, I keep thinking that I'm not in range to hit people with that. I didn't realize it hits them that far away. I mean... Ah, damn it. Damn. Okay, I'm understanding the... Actually, here, come here. Get the little guy out of here first. I'm understanding how Bahamut's supposed to work. Oh, test the items. Hold on. So... Yeah, I think it's gonna let me. Yeah, okay, you can. Woo! Yeah, okay, so you can do that. All right. I got 55 of those things. Oh my god. Hold on, go back up.
Do you think there are more?
There are always more.
Doritos from now is a high snack, or when I do chips and cheese with the meat.
Then we should let Isabel know.
Mm. If you charge up the wings, I can do more damage. Just clean the room, closet, and laundry, all while seeing the Back to the Future trilogy. Say my day off was well spent. I would say so too. I would say so too. Absolutely. Save my prime for Uncle Jill. Wait, what? I also like nachos, so I don't know why I dislike Doritos. I mean, Doritos. When I say nachos and I say Doritos, they feel like different things.
To be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Oh yeah.
Yes, milady.
Mm-hmm.
The garrison will be ready.
And by garrison, you
Olivia has
mean?
convinced most of the men to remain at their posts, for now at least.
Hearing that the Dame would look kindly on any man who committed
Favorite types of
to
chip and
task
Cheetos.
certainly did
I'm okay with Cheetos. I prefer cheese curls. I think that the cheesy puff curls, I think they're way better.
Now me, I never needed convincing. I became a soldier to protect the people I love. And the people I love include the ones standing before me.
Handsome and chivalrous.
Wait a minute.
Now, if you don't mind, I have sentries to post.
Uh-oh. It worked.
Milady.
She got him to believe that she loves him.
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems.
International tried to cook beef in a chipped bag with hot cheese? No.
Fewer than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
I don't think so, no. Cheddar jalapeno Cheetos have become my go-to for that category of chips. I haven't cheese curls in forever. They're good. I love cheese curls, man. They're so delicious. Look, he looked dead at Clive and he said, "Milady." Like, wait a minute. Why did you look at me when you said that? Okay. Local map? Ooh, I just had a deja vu. So here we go. Alright, so we're going up there.
This man's gonna die if we don't get him to a healer.
Don't worry, I'll kill him.
All our beds are taken.
Like, no, we don't need him dead. We need him saved.
Martha, it's good to see you.
And you, Clive. Jill?
Otto said you'd been attacked by a Kashik. What exactly happened here?
Those skies are what happened.
We got
Long
attacked by
after they fell
Kashik.
dark,
A
we
Kashik.
had our first visit. There were hundreds of them. Tried to storm the hill. Only a handful made it up here, but that was more than enough. The rest are still down there now. And while we have a few willing fighters holding them back, they're sorely outnumbered.
What do you think, Clive?
That we join the fight.
So let me be clear about what happened here. So something, I guess, because of the destroying the mother crystals, something happened, and there's some sort of aether storm or something, and that's causing these Akashic to come out of nowhere. Probably should have paid attention. Destroying the crystals, yeah, it's messing with the flow of aether. So as that's happening, nothing's holding back the Akashic. Maybe that's what's going on here. Oh wait. Okay, there we go. Destroying the crystals mess with the flow. I mean, that stuff, like, Okay, that's probably then you're Dragon. You're probably leading into a better question that I should have asked. Like they explained this, right? Or they like what's happening here. They did explain what's going on. I'm kind of assuming that I missed something. Or did they not explain it? Do we not know why this is happening?
Clive, wounded.
Good, they're easier to kill. Oh, wait, okay.
We deal with the Akashic first.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this should have happened once in a while. The exact connection between everything is still not explained. Okay. That was pretty sick. Oh, I kind of screwed that up. I didn't mean to do that. So how does this work? Okay. So do you wait and then...
Nice try. Too slow.
Okay, so I lost it because I got hit. If I would have fired it, that would have given me a crazy attack.
That's better.
Oh, damn it. I keep doing that thinking that it's the other one. Oh, I still have it. Okay. Return to cause a fan. Oh no. See, XY, did you have the slim or did you have the original? I'm guessing you just got it, so that you have the slim. Mine is like that too. Everybody made it sound like it's supposed to be that loud, but it's very loud.
These men don't have the look of hired swords.
Well, that's because they were spiders and a bird. Oh, these guys, okay.
If you've come to rob this place.
Mine is as quiet as can be, not sure. Yeah, I don't know why. It feels very loud. Maybe the problem is that it's loud in comparison.
Here by Madame Martha's leave.
And you have a slim, Ryan?
Forgive me, my lord. There wasn't time for introductions. We are with the Guardians of the Flame.
Wade's men. But how did you come to be here?
Wade? Whipple? See, I'm hearing it from the people that have fats that it's normal.
Did he?
But the people that have slims, it sounds loud.
Martha will see you're looked after. We'll join you in on.
Does anybody here have the slim and it's like a very quiet fan? That's what I haven't heard. I have base PS5, it gets noisy but more hot. The slims I hear rev up. Yeah, it revs up a lot. Did you all kill that nobility woman? Yes. I'm saying yes. You kind of missed it, Jerf. I would recommend, to be honest, Jerf, I would recommend you go back to the end of the last stream and watch what happens. It's actually really good. I'm not even like, go watch my video. Go and watch like the whole sequence after you beat Bahamut. It's very good.
Pack of Akashic snapping at their heels, and they got wounded with them. They're not gonna make it.
Damn it all.
When you have Bahamut out, it charges a meter at the top. It goes up to, okay, so it was up to level 2. Upgraded, it goes higher. Once you fill it up, you can shoot the attack.
Be safe now.
Okay, so that's what it is. I just need to figure out how to use it. So, yeah, it is really loud though. I think I did it. Yeah. Jerf, I've been putting them all on YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube, It should be, and I have them labeled by the date, so it should be, what's today, the 9th? So it should be the stream from the 7th. It's probably in the last, it's in the last hour. It's probably in the last half hour. But you can just skim through the fight, and then at the end of the fight, you'll see, like, I want to say it's like 15 minutes. It's like 10-15 minutes of storyline, but it's good storyline.
Squire, I need you to get those who can still walk up the lift to Martha's. But what about... I didn't ask, Oscar. Sir.
So Wade.
Lord Rossby.
Upgrade fully charged brings lives. Mega flare. It reeks
sore
pretty
eyes.
much anything in the
Martha
air.
seemed to think you might need some help. And by the looks of it...
Oh, in an AoE.
We thought we could sneak by them, but we didn't know there would be so many. How could we have?
You know.
Behind you!
What the?
Damn it! We need to get the injured to safety.
Do you think we can hold them off?
We can certainly try. Are you with
My
us,
last
Wade?
half of my workday. Oh, I appreciate that, Executor.
Then let's do our duty.
All right. Whoops, I kind of didn't mean to do it. Oh, no. Turn him around. There you go. Woo! Come here. Oh, no! Oh, what hit me? Okay, that was my fault. Ow! Oh, he kind of faked me out there. That was good. I'm just here to do the funny comments. I should have done the other thing first. Come here, other enemies. Hello? I don't like that it keeps disengaging my targeting. I don't know what it's doing with that. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Woo! We're Resident Hate Dating in recent Persona games. It takes way too long to advance the plot. Well, it's social links. Jerf. Jerf. feel the same way about real dating. One second here. Okay. Can you know does the crap too? D-locks it. Yeah, I don't understand why it keeps doing that. I'm not sure why. You saw Megaflow last a while longer when upgraded. So maybe it is worth it to upgrade.
It's just a pity I keep walking into them.
You get a camera angle that puts the enemy off screen? I guess so.
Like any shield worthy of the name.
I see you're all in one piece.
Martha.
Oh my God, she said it. It's real.
Is something wrong?
The lookout saw smoke coming from down Eastpool way. Too thick to be a hearth.
A second horde.
Feel like finishing the job.
Always.
Sure, I
Jill and I
guess.
will make for Eastpool. You'll need to move the injured without us.
Don't you worry about them.
The moment my men are safe, I'll follow. Good luck.
You'll be too late. We're good at this. This is a thing we do. Okay. Oh, do I have to go back up? I think I have to go back up. Also, this whole part is the people you know are in trouble in the same way. Go help. Yeah, it seems like everybody's. That's kind of why. This is what ends up happening. Is that this is why I end up checking out of certain parts of story.
Dogs.
And it's not a bad thing. It just there are some times where you can just sort of tell. It's like the thing about books. I've said before, when you read a book, you ever read a book and you read that you read like the first 2 sentences of a paragraph, and you know, all right, this paragraph is like a description. This is a description of the area, and you just kind of skim over it, like you kind of go over it, you read it really quickly. It's kind of like that. Like I understood what they were doing here, where it's like everybody needs help, go help them, and then they gave me 3 separate places to go. So I was like, okay, I don't really need to understand what's going on. I just need to go and help. Oh, look at that. That's good craftsmanship. I'd like to thank the guy that made that. Boom. Okay.
They're headed for the rest.
We have to slow them down. Martha and the others won't be ready.
Oh, wait, watch that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that there, but... Oh, I don't think... Okay, never mind. That was fine. Where are the enemies? Here we go. Oh, no! Evil Chocobo. There's another enemy back there that is very, very smart and not targeting me at all. Oh, I think it's that fire thing. I think that's what...
Something's coming.
The hell?
Apologies, my lord. Did I miss anything?
That just like abruptly ended.
Shall we?
Yeah, it was so sudden. I thought I accidentally left the area. Yeah, it's that fire that's doing that. Ow. Oh, that was cool. I never did that in the air like that. I can't tell if I'm getting hit by something. Where'd you go? Aw, you jerk. Yeah, I was like, what just happened? It like immediately just cut on me. I'm not trying to think of One Piece reference, or I keep calling the main character of this game Marco the Phoenix.
Do you see any more?
No. I think that was the last of them.
But it won't be long before the next lot arrive.
Supposed to be prepared for the final boss. As soon as you're about to fight, it abruptly cuts and the final boss is off screen and you don't get to participate. I mean, I don't know what the situation would be there. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine what happens in a game that causes that to be the case. I would just think it's an error. Like the game glitched and I didn't get to fight the boss.
Well, wherever they came from, they're gone now. Our lookouts say the lowlands are clear. Hopefully we'll have enough time to lick our wounds.
How many of your men were injured?
A damn sight less than if you hadn't turned up. Thank you.
It was a hard-fought victory. But as long as the skies remain dark, I fear the Akashic's numbers are only going to rise. It's not a matter of if the Horde will be back, but when. And whether that's sooner or later, we'll need to be ready. The inn here affords a good view of the land, and is easily defendable. I'd like to make this one of our outposts.
What do you say, Martha? You'd have more men to guard the rest.
Well, when you put it like that...
Fallout New Vegas, you can convince the final boss to run away and dodge the fight entirely. Oh, okay. I mean, that's different, because then you can actually fight the boss. I mean, in the original Dragon Quest, you can side with the Dragon Lord and help plunge the world into darkness. Guardian's Scarf. A symbol of trust, loyalty, and undying. Okay. Display. Oh, okay. It's a. Okay.
My lord, there's someone I'd like you to meet.
More crap for my bedroom.
Oscar, over here. It is an honor to make your acquaintance, Lord Rossfield. I am Oscar. Oscar of House Murdoch.
Murdoch? I wasn't aware the Lord Commander had children.
I'm a bastard.
He didn't. But his brother, my father, did. I am Sir Rodney's nephew.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, go on, then.
Like that?
It's not for me to ask him. Yes.
He's gonna ask for Ben Starr's autograph. Watch this.
If it please you, my Lord Marquis, might you take me as your squire? I would learn the duties of a shield from the finest.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Oscar, but I'm a shield no longer.
No.
Nor was I ever the finest. And spending time in the company of an outlaw hardly seems a fitting education for one aspiring to take his oaths.
My Aunt Hannah once told me that a man is not defined by his title, but what he does in its name. You have accomplished much since taking on the mantle of Cid, winning no little honor in so doing. And I would sooner serve under an honorable outlaw than an unworthy shield. Not that Sir Wade and the other guardians are...
Yeah, you're kind of killing yourself there.
It's all right. We know what you mean. There is only so much the boy can learn from me, my lord.
It's all right. No denying it. Clive's better than us. That's okay.
Would that really be so bad? You were a squire once. And I'm certain Sir Rodney would approve.
I mean, we really have a lot to do
No,
here,
I'll show
so...
you as much leniency as your uncle showed me.
I would not have it any other way.
All right, new party member. Wait, what? So what was all that for?
I will not let you
I
down.
mean,
Lord
obviously he's
Rothschild.
not going to be a party member, but
Or my uncle.
I don't know what the benefit of all of that was. This one? He'll guard your room. Oh, that's it? He's going to be in my room? Oh. Wait, what? This one? He'll be outside of the room. Then you can bring it. I really don't like the rest of the game is permanently tainted. Oh, is it? You know what's crazy? I never really. You're talking about the sky? I didn't really actually notice that. Is that? Oh, that room is still locked. I can't do that yet. Okay. That was the thing that was locked before.
Sid, your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried? You haven't been introduced.
It'd have been nice if, like, it would have been nice if, like, a new game plus. Like, I don't mind that you play Clive the whole time, but I feel like for a new game plus, they give you the option to switch over to Jill. I think that would be kind of cool.
Indeed.
Because you can only play as Jill at certain parts of the game, because you wouldn't have her the entire time.
Guild days ago. Any idea where they went? The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me?
What
did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's...
Was he yelling at that corpse?
And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own.
Okay.
I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
Which makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
Yeah, see, this is fine with all of the... I mean, this isn't a side quest technically, but this is what I'm talking about, where all of the quests are relatively close by.
Just follow the shouting.
So I don't feel like I'm struggling to get to these things. Oh, okay, so now I'm in here. Post-release update allowed you to swap characters during the main game. It was a cool feature. So that'd be nice. It'd be nice to put that in here.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood. It's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandits' ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
You buy food, I'll kill the bandits. Fine?
Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you.
Okay, well, see, now we're saying things that we shouldn't be saying.
Any more of this and I'll...
Holy crap, that looks like Stallone.
Come back when you're ready to talk.
Why did he look? He looked like Stallone right at the beginning there. Scowl, 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 scowl.
Victor.
Because we'll try to tell you otherwise. It doesn't have a... Yeah, it's not a party system. There's other people there, but it's not. Yeah, Stallone. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. I don't know. It kind of looked like him at first. There was something about the way... Like young Stallone.
Sid.
Look, it's like Rocky, not Rocky. It's like First Blood Stallone.
What brings you here?
I don't know why. I don't know why I see that.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalimil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of...
Yeah, not Spy Kids 3D Stallone. Yeah, no.
Some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this
Notice the Bear's plotline it's just kind of not being talked about. Yeah.
These accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire...
I haven't, you know, it's funny though, Dragon, you haven't really noticed it. Like, it feels like...
Still working on the skies.
it feels like that's not the like as weird as it sounds, it feels like that's not the relevant thing right now. So it like makes sense. Which I know the whole thing about me complaining about them ignoring the blight, but the blight kind of felt like a big deal. The bear thing, it's like the bear thing's been a thing for so long. So the fact that we're focusing on something else is kind of like, it's almost like we've become complacent with it just the way everybody else did.
So, you see my predicament?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder...
Which looks like a sunset to me.
Fear.
What, Stallone?
Set the entire town alight.
My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
The purple hue.
Bandits like. It's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake, he'd let them choose for themselves and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization...
One of its fair the bears still exist, and this game forgets about them, and not even in the they continue to abuse them way. They legit just don't come up again. It's for side quest. Fake Stallone's gonna make Clive have to participate in a boxing match.
Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
Yay!
It appears we have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly. I'll speak with Natalie.
As you wish.
Clive, go with Victor and kill the bandits, because that feels like that would be an easy solution.
Not well known in this town. That may prove useful. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. You need only play along.
Play along?
What he means to say is yes.
Definitely ruin Majora's Mask by making the moon dance close to the terminal. No, just get Kia, you just give the moon little arms, so that as it gets closer, it's just doing this. There you go. You don't need. It doesn't need full legs. I'm trying to remember if at any point in the story bears even show up anywhere you go. I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of weird if they just disappear completely. But for right now, right, the big giant purple sky. It's the big purple sky is going to kill everybody, bear or not. So it kind of makes sense to me that you would be at a point in the storyline where you're not. That's like in Final Fantasy VI. That's like in the world of Ruin, talking about how the Empire's no more. Like, oh, we just don't talk about the Empire anymore. Like, yeah, that's it's kind of where we are in the story.
A pleasure, my lady.
The pleasure is all mine.
As I told you,
like, obviously the bears are still important, but right now the sky is purple.
Victor
So
says you told him no. That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left.
This part of Clive's whole main point. His big goal is save the bears, and it kind of fizzles out.
Conrad?
Well, I mean, save the world does kind of save the bears at this point. That's what I mean. It's just there's very obviously a bigger problem going on right now. So it makes sense.
Could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not. We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you called the brightest candle in the crypt.
I heard that.
Reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid. Well played, my lady.
All right. Wait. We don't kill anybody? Ooh, why did it get dark all of a sudden? That was weird. It got dark. Right. Did you see that? Oh, yeah, I can go in here now.
Notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
This is where I had to go?
Haven't we had enough fighting?
Oh, I've got you. Next time those two go.
Hello?
My reputation will be ruined. Ruined!
Ruin!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac. I beg of you, before you do yourself...
Hey, Slider! What's going on?
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Been curious about Final Fantasy 16? You're saying you're curious?
So I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me be!
I'm doing good, Slider. How you doing?
Please, allow me to apologize.
No.
His lordship is
Stab.
going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving unannounced.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind?
Sounds like Lord Ignat to me. Wait, I didn't mean to push that second one.
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
That? No. That's just how his lordship is. Though the mornings...
Finish 16 in Final Fantasy mode.
Fractious.
What did you think of it?
Possessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made away with a considerable amount of coin. Coin the innkeeper will soon be keen to collect.
I don't suppose a certain blade was among the stolen items. A single-edged sword. It was purchased from a merchant friend of mine.
Finally got steady work. Moved. Was without internet for 2 months, and now things are finally settled down. I'm glad things are settled down, and I'm glad that they're settled in a better position. I'm glad that they're settled in a way where you have internet and you're able to hang out.
You are welcome to anything that is within my power to grant.
I want an audience with Lord Ignac. A few minutes should be enough. Then I'll be on my way.
A condition I would be a fool to refuse. Of course.
And a fool I am.
I
Denied.
suppose you saw where the thieves went.
I did not, no. Though some discreet inquiries made on his lordship's behalf.
Been missing being here. My boss gave me Friday off just the game. Every Friday or just this Friday?
Every ill-gotten coin in Dalamil is set to pass through that disreputable corner of the Valcroy.
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence, and arrange for an audience upon your triumphant return.
That will be very kind of you.
Farewell, and best of luck.
Thank you. Let's just go. Clouds lives in a world where we can live and die as we choose for Paris. It's just that Sid believed destroying the crystals could help that. Oh my god, is that where I'm going? These warp points are so far away. Oh wait, watch this. Near. What are you doing over there? Come here.
Come on.
Yeah.
Look out! Helldivers! It wasn't that hard. I only died like less than 10 times throughout the whole playthrough. It was good to take my time though, and through this, and really appreciate everything the game has to offer. Yeah, I think that's, you know, obviously I'm taking my time. I do think that this is a game, in all honesty, that I will probably go through again on my own time, so that I can go through it a little bit more consistently and just sort of like really take in the story. Depending on how well I can get through the story, I might talk to them about whether or not we want to do this for the channel, but I feel like this is a bit long of an experience, so I don't know. Plus, I don't know. I know John wants to. I don't think they played this game. I don't think any of the SGB guys played this game. Actually, I think Matt played it. I'll look over the documents related to government things. I help look over documents related to government things, school, hospital, so I cannot take more than one extra. Okay, okay. So just this Friday. See, Sliner, you should have taken 2 weeks from now, Friday, because that's going to be Paper Mario Day. And we're going to be streaming super long that day.
Straight home now.
Yeah, Matt might have.
We've got company. Come on, lads, let's tear the bastard's head off.
Ah, damn it. Whoops.
This one.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it's that fire attack that's whoa. Yeah, whenever I use that fire attack, that's what's disengaging my lock on. This. Oh no, I didn't know it. Ah. How are you finding the combat? It looks very flashy. It is incredibly flashy, and I'll be honest with you, super satisfying. I actually am very much enjoying this game. I know that people have had their sort of issues with the game. I actually think that this game's really incredible. It's an extremely cinematic experience in every possible way you might think. And it's great for it. I love it. I love that it's like that. Yeah, I find it is flashy, but it's good flashy. I think it's very interesting. I think it's quick. I think it's snappy. When you get used to it, you really start to understand how everything works and how it all fits together. I have a lot of fun. I very much enjoy this. As far as a combat game goes, I think it's a lot of fun.
Nothing seems to be damaged. All right. Let's get it back to Dalamil.
Yeah, I know people are going to have, different opinions about it, but I've said before, I think that if you... I says, well, style and substance. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's tons of style with the game. I think that it looks incredible. I think that it feels good. It's very flashy to look at. It's very nice. But then story-wise, I think there's a ton here. I think that it's really interesting. I mean, the last part, probably a good thing that you weren't here for the last part, because we had a very significant story chunk. And I was just fully enthralled. I was like, oh, man. I was really, really into what was happening.
All right. Speak. Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain single-edged sword you recently acquired.
This is a side quest, so you don't have to worry about, you're getting spoiled on anything here.
Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands on that sword. It was made...
That didn't hurt at all, my lord. Not at all.
And is used exclusively by the practitioners of a unique school of swordsmanship.
How old is Pudding? I think Pudding's been around for a long time.
A single strike and hone their blades to such.
I think it's kind of nice about Final Fantasy. You always get something new, and this is
perfect stroke. And for that stroke only.
Not to poke the bear here, this is probably one of the most different Final Fantasy experiences. I don't ever remember particularly a numbered experience. I didn't play 12 and all, but I never played a Final Fantasy that felt so different from what Final Fantasy feels like normally, what I'm used to, and I don't care because it's just that good.
10,000 licks with the sharp.
Pudding's a One Piece character. Oh, okay. So the pudding is real.
But it is the
All right.
final stone which lends the blade its legendary sharpness.
Oh, the Final Fantasy fighting game. Oh, that's much better.
To this great realm of ours.
I mean, 16 is good. It's no Dirge of Cerberus,
Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly.
Oh, and pudding is 16. Okay, got it.
Take this.
Thank you for saying that before I said something really bad.
The very stone of which I spoke. Far rarer among collectors than even the blade itself. A far more fitting payment.
Thank you.
Pardon the intrusion.
I have
my
it. Don't I have
lordship.
that game?
However, it is long past time we prepared ourselves to depart.
I don't have Dirge of Cerberus.
So it is. I am lost.
I keep hearing bad things about the game, so I feel like I want to try it at some point.
I am one step ahead of the unscrupulous scoundrel.
Is there a way to play it? What's the easiest way to play Dirge of Cerberus? And I know that the answer is going to be don't.
Too many to count, but only one do I consider my nemesis, Lord Byron Rosfield.
Wait, what?
A perennial thorn in my
No, wait.
I can imagine.
Farewell, Wyvern. May our paths cross again. Radim, we mustn't dawdle.
Lord Byron Rosfeld, isn't that our uncle?
I think his lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern.
Yeah, wait.
Thank you again for your assistance.
It's on Nintendo.
I'll be right there.
Oh, it's sad. You can play it on the Swatch.
Trust Uncle Byron to find such an interesting rival.
Can we go talk to him?
No.
Let's go back. No.
Let's see what Blackthorn makes of this whetstone.
Don't go back to Blackthorn. Go to talk to your uncle. The Motendo. Dude, don't worry. It'll be on the Nintendo Xbox soon enough. Wait, why'd you do that? Oh, there we go. I think a way to put it as a game, it's great and very fun. As a Final Fantasy game, it's very different. Both are true. You have varying effects on how you'll end up feeling about it in the end. Yeah, I think so. I think my problem is just that looking at it as not a final, like, you can't fully do that because you probably bought the game because you love Final Fantasy. But if you're able to look at it as without the Final Fantasy lens, I think it's a great game. I think this game is incredible. It's hard to not do that. It's like me with X-Men. It's like me with X-Men 97. X-Men 97 is very good. It's a challenge for me to watch that show and not think about the original show. And when I do that, there are points about it where I'm like, eh. But overall, it's a great show.
Yes.
What's not so Final Fantasy about it? Again, we're talking about the numbered games here. Single player experience, it's not a party-based game, no matter how much someone tries to convince you that it is a party-based game because there's other characters there. You don't ever control the other characters. You have no say in what they do, so it's effectively a single player game. It's not like Xenoblade where you swap between characters. The world is like stuff's happening that's sad and serious, but this game is far more grim than any Final Fantasy game, I think, in not just its story but its presentation. You get lots of moments where there's characters who get their hands cut off, they get their throats slit. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like watching Game of Thrones, but it's Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy, to my experience, Final Fantasy's never been that visually brutal.
No point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax handle.
It's fully action. Like I said, it's not a menu-based combat system. It's fully action. It's not even like Rebirth, and Remake, where there's like a menu sort of system integrated with the action combat. This is a fully action combat system. Yeah, it's a lot of the staples that you might think of when you think of Final Fantasy. The levity is not really there. Yeah, it lacks a degree of levity where, you know, Final Fantasy always had relatively serious topics and things happening, but it was never out of place for there to be some silly music. It was never out of place. It wasn't fully out of place when you played Final Fantasy VII and you went to the Honeybee Inn. It was appropriately silly. You kind of expected it. This game, it would stand out a lot to do something that ridiculous.
Right.
The game is just not the world that the game is built in, which is unusual for Final Fantasy. That's why. So if you're looking for all of that, if you're looking for the kookiness that normal Final Fantasy is involved in, you're going to be like, wow, there's a lot of that stuff is different. A lot of this, like, I feel like a lot of that's missing. But on its own, I think this game's incredible. This is in my top five Final Fantasy games. Yeah, think less Star Wars and more Game of Thrones. Yeah, you're meant to think of how the original show is a direct sequel. Oh, for X-Men, I'm like, the original show of Final Fantasy. There are a lot of super brutal scenes in Final Fantasy history. Just most were the pixel games. Yeah, such as bombing an entire town, castle, poisoning. Yeah, poisoning entire. Yeah, you're right. There were scenes in the original games that were kind of like, wow, that was pretty rough. That they poisoned the whole town, and you see the people falling. You see the people dying in Final Fantasy VI when the world is breaking. Like, you see all of that, but it's never been. It was always still bright. That's part of it too. It was always still bright and colorful. It was pixel based. So like Tactics, I think, is probably the most brutal I would say that Final Fantasy's ever been. And even Tactics is light compared to this. Tactics has some moments where you're like, oh my god, that was kind of messed up that happened there. and that's tame compared to this game. Ooh, Excalibur recipe. Do you think it's also a byproduct of making a game for modern day sensibility? No, because I think you can make a game with modern day sensibilities and tonally have it match the original Final Fantasy games. I think Rebirth. Rebirth is a modern Final Fantasy game that feels like a Final Fantasy game. It's got a lot of mini games, which is not entirely un-Final Fantasy, but tonally, visually, the game is very bright and colorful aesthetically. Tonally, when silly things happen in Rebirth, they don't feel out of place. It feels like, yeah, that's Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, you know, you have a date sequence and it feels normal. So no, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think they specifically went with this sort of tone to feel different. Yeah, if 6 was made today, I don't know, Lilac. If 6 was made in full 4K 3D, it would be as brutal, if not more. You say that, but then there's like, you start out with Biggs and Wedge, right, or Vix and Wedge, and you do have some brutal stuff in the beginning there. But you've got the silliness of, you've got somewhat silliness of Kefka. Locke kind of comes across as an over the top Locke is almost like a caricature of a treasure hunter. You've got the Mughals early, and the Mughals, you know, they have their own personalities and stuff. You've got the scenes like when Terra uses magic for the first time and they freak out and he's like magic, right? You've got these moments of levity in 6 that feel they feel in character with the game. That moment, right? Remember, if you're talking about 6, so remember the moment where Terra uses magic and then they pull each other aside and they're like, oh my god, she used magic, and then he like freaks out and he makes the face and he jumps around. Remember, it's like, oh my god, she used magic. That kind of comedy would not work in this game. And if you made a Final Fantasy VI 3D game fully experienced, it would fit in there. Unless you made it like this. That sort of moment, if Jill saw someone using magic and then started hopping around with a goofy face that said magic, right? If at any point Clive suplexed the train, you would think that kind of stands out of place in this game. Whereas Final Fantasy VI, even if it was a fully 3D game, it would make sense. the level of silliness would make sense.
What do you want?
That's why I know we've brought this up before, so I know that'll be a agree to disagree thing. It's just, oh wait, so I want to upgrade this, right?
No scratches, right?
Silly and brutal sections are polar opposites and very tonally whiplashing. If it was in this engine's graphics, they'd feel as opposing because it was in pixels. They didn't feel as opposing because it was in pixels. And you're not wrong. I can't say that you're wrong there. I don't know. I don't know what it would look like. I just feel like there's a way to do it. Again, you say that, right? You say that if it was in 3D, they didn't feel as opposing because it was in pixels. But Rebirth was not in pixels. And Rebirth, I think there would have been a way to do it and have it somewhat fit. You know, I don't think that Rebirth is a 3D game and it doesn't look like this. And it doesn't have this tone of game. There's not blood splattering all over the characters' faces in Rebirth. But it's a 3D game. Yeah, Rebirth didn't have quite as much genocide. I mean, neither did 6. I mean, 6 had some brutal moments, but 6 wasn't. We have an entire race of slave characters that we kill at a whim because we feel like it. It didn't have any of that. I don't know. I think that there's a misremembering of, like, you're right that there were brutal moments in 6, that there were some sad moments in 6, but I can't think of anything in 6 on the whole that was anywhere near as brutal as this game. Right? 6 didn't throw a spear at a child. You know? Well, spoilers there. I just think that people have this sort of misremembering of exactly how 6 had brutal moments, but 6 was not a brutal game. That's a good way to put it. I think that's the best way I would put it. 6 had brutal moments, but it was not a brutal game. 7 had brutal moments, but it wasn't a brutal game. This game feels brutal. The world, the visuals, the aesthetic, the behavior of the characters, the things that you're doing in the cutscenes, like everything about this world is meant to tell you it sucks to live here. Everything. No, sorry. Cloud's constant "why am I here" attitude was the source of so much comedy in Rebirth. Yeah, like they did a good job. They did a good job of giving you the levity in those games, and that's normal for Final Fantasy. Okay, easy there, buddy.
My shop.
Yeah, I never play 6 and think, wow, this world is horrible. I play this game and I feel like people talk about like fantasy worlds, like what fantasy world would you want to live in? I don't think anybody would choose Game of Thrones. I don't think anybody would say, yeah, I really wish I lived in the Game of Thrones world. If you had to pick a Final Fantasy world to live in, I question whether or not anybody would pick this game. This is a pretty rough world to want to live in.
Ah, here he is now. Natalie.
No, I rank it. I probably wouldn't be in my top games. Not because it's bad, because it's just not what I look for in a Final Fantasy game. Yeah, again, we'll agree to disagree. I know that you have different feelings about this game as it's regards to a Final Fantasy game. And again, none of this is saying that the game is bad. It's not bad. It's just if I bought this game based on my love of 4 and 6 and 7 and 9, and then I played this game, I would think nothing that I'm looking for is here.
Indeed, certainly.
And 5, but I never really played 5 all the way through.
Nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices higher than most commoners could afford.
Wait, why am I pounding a jar? What did I do?
Time before the peasants' revolt.
Final Fantasy needs to remove that levity to be 3D. Yeah, we saw in our heads. We also saw those wacky things play out.
True. I fear we have little hope of supplementing our stores, meager though they regrettably are.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of Final Fantasy. That's a good way to put it. It's a different flavor of Final Fantasy. That's okay.
Citizens from seeking vengeance.
Eight's world was nice, but you just had to ignore all the inner school wars. Yeah, eight's probably levity-wise. I feel like 8, and maybe 10. I feel like those are the games that you would say, like, wow, that some of this levity just doesn't really fit.
Weapons, herbs,
Started putting a pound in jar every time someone says the phrase. I'm not saying it's bad.
Not only this hardship,
because I'm not. When did I say it was bad? I just feel like I need to reiterate that because I know that that's how people. That's kind of how people. And like, and I'm not calling you out specifically here. It's just this is something that people do nowadays. Is that anybody that disagrees or anybody that has a differing opinion, it's like, well, why do you think it's bad? It's like I don't feel like this game feels like a traditional Final Fantasy experience.
Your performance was
nothing about that said it's a bad game. It's just I don't think it feels like, you know what else doesn't feel like a traditional Final Fantasy experience? Tetris. And I like Tetris. It's not feeling like that doesn't mean that it's awful. I'll say it a few more times though, Lilac. This way you can afford Paper Mario.
Not convinced our roles in this room.
Yeah, it is kind of, and Dragoon, it's kind of like that. You get to this, I get to this point where I feel like I'm overly defending what I say. We had it earlier. We had it earlier when we were talking about the Xbox stuff. It's like I'm just speculating, right? I need to like reiterate that over and over again because someone's gonna hear it. They're gonna disagree and they're gonna think that I'm acting like a know-it-all or I'm saying something against them. It's like, no, I'm just sort of speculating. I'm curious how a Final Fantasy Tetris would be. Okay, Sliner. I can describe a Final Fantasy Tetris to you. All right. Do you remember what happens to Aerith in Final Fantasy VII with Sephiroth? All right, that, but it's the line piece and you're getting a Tetris. There you go. Hey, just move on to the next person. Now I need a picture of Sephiroth holding the line piece. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do that later.
I take it your scouts found the bandits.
Technically, it would be the bandits who found my scouts.
Yeah, and then Aerith disappears.
All of them.
You're not serious.
Here's my different opinion. I hate something, I hate it. I won't say others are wrong for having a different opinion. Who am I to gatekeep? Yeah, you're not wrong. Nobody's wrong for having a different opinion.
I have a favor to ask.
Does it make the Tetris goes and hit?
In two groups, one from the south and one from the desert.
Okay. I really should be paying attention to this, but this all kind of feels like there's just stuff happening. Just go do it. I think either the SNES Final Fantasies or Final Fantasy 7 through 10, visually instead of looking like Monster Hunter third person or Xenoblade, not bad, just doesn't look like Final Fantasy to me.
The stakes I concede are high.
I had that happen to myself with this game, in fact, or if I don't make it a point to say I've gotten told, well, you just hate it because it's not turn-based. It's like, no, I never said I agree. I love the game.
Then it will be for us to see that their hands are kept occupied. And I do mean us.
I thought you might say that.
This is maybe it's the tism. I simply the point in saying I'm not saying it's bad, but especially when someone uses it to talk about nearly every aspect of the game. If you have an opinion, just have an opinion, and if someone decides to read it wrong, that's on them. Leave them to it and ignore it. No, but here's my problem with that. I'm hold on. I'm going to address that. Here's my issue with that. I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer. I'm not here to tell you I don't care about your opinion. Shut up. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do anything that even remotely feels like that. I want to have discussions with you guys. I want to interact. I want you to hear my opinions and I want to hear your opinions. I want to have a back and forth, and I want to act like a civilized group of people that are able to discuss their opinions about things. If I'm just going to tell you, well, if the first time I hear something that I disagree with is going to trigger me to say, well, all right, then fine, and then I'm just not going to interact with you, why even be a streamer? Why do that? And everybody can stream in their own way. They can do their own thing, but I don't want to do that. I have no interest in doing that. I have no interest in just saying, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and that's that. And then not actually engaging in it. I need people to understand that when I'm engaging with them, I'm not challenging you. I'm not again, I'm not saying you specifically, but I want people to understand that when I have a differing opinion, I like to have an interesting back and forth. I like to understand other people's points of views, and I like other people to understand my points of views. And none of that is meant to challenge you or to say, you're wrong, here's why. But I'm not going to not do that. I'm not going to not say something about that because not because it's challenging, but because it's interesting. Isn't that interesting? Am I the only one that finds that interesting? I grew up, you know what's funny? I'm sorry, I'm kind of spinning off into a weird thing here. I grew up really not liking people. I grew up as a geeky kid in a world where people didn't like geeky kids. So I got bullied, I got picked on, and I just grew up not wanting to interact with people. And then what I realized was, as I started to meet other geeks, I do like interacting with people. It's just people who make it a point to tell me how much they don't like me and the things that I do. So as I got older, I wanted to interact with more people. I wanted to do that thing that I always kind of missed out on in my life, which is I didn't really get to interact with people as a kid. To an extent. I mean, there were kids that we were geeky with, that I was geeky with, and we were okay. But so as I've gotten to this point where I have the ability to reach people, this is why I always defend the internet. Everybody likes to say that the internet ruined everything and blah, 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 social media. I always defend those things because from my point of view, I get to interact with people in a way that I never really had a chance to do. Sure. There's some pretty crappy people out there with some really bad opinions and some really bad views on life. But there's also a lot of really interesting people too. And I want to do that. And the idea of if we disagree, I'm just going to say that we agree to disagree and then leave it at that immediately. That's just not who I am. It's just not in any way whatsoever. It's just not who I am. I would rather have a discussion about what's going on. I find that fascinating. If people don't like to have that discussion, then they can leave. I'm not going anywhere. They can leave. If anybody has a problem with having a discussion about things, a civilized discussion about likes and dislikes and why we have the opinions that we have, you can leave. That's totally okay. But I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here on my and I will get a little hostile on this one. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here on my stream. No offense. I don't mean to sound all cocky like that, but because it's our stream. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and then anybody come in here and tell me, well, you can't think a certain way or you can't react a certain way. Like, no, I'm going to say what I want to say and I'm going to say it how I want to say it. And I want to make sure that everybody else feels free to do the same thing. Because I don't want anybody to think that they can't say how it is that they feel about whatever the game is or whatever the movie is or topic or whatever. I don't want anybody to think that they can't say anything because I'm going to get pissed off. No, absolutely not. I didn't like Anton Blast, but he said he sees the appeal. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if someone decides that your opinion is just you hate it and it leads to an argument. But when does it? I mean, rarely have we ever argued, right? I got a little heated. Right? Get a little heated sometimes, but I don't argue. If I argue, I'm just gonna then I'll shut it down. I've done that. We've done that before, where I said, look, it's getting a little too heated. Let's shut it down. Move on to a new topic. You know, but I'm never gonna not talk about this stuff. I'm never going to not try and have a back and forth. I just find it fascinating. I find it interesting. We talk about what's a Final Fantasy and what's not a Final Fantasy. Well, how the hell are we supposed to know if we don't have a conversation about it? How are you supposed to, it's an RPG. It's not an RPG. How are you supposed to know what you're even talking about? Hell, we've had that discussion and it turns out that we're thinking about completely different things. Right? What's a Metroidvania? What's not a Metroidvania? Well, you should probably have a discussion about what you think a Metroidvania is before you do that. So for anybody that would say like, oh, well, I disagree. It's like, okay, cool. Why do you disagree? What is it that you see differently that you're looking for? Like I said, with this game, with 16, I think 16 doesn't feel like a typical Final Fantasy game. Why? Because there are certain points that I look at that I associate with Final Fantasy, and they are not here, or they're altered. You know what makes it but it is a Final Fantasy game. You know what makes it a Final Fantasy game? It says Final Fantasy on the box. And when I boot the game up, it says Final Fantasy. And apparently some of the characters' names are Final and Fantasy. Yeah, I just, you know, I'm sorry. That was a weird tangent to go on, but it just kind of bugs me. It kind of, because we've had that before. And the thing is, like, you're fine. Like, everything is okay. It's not hostile or anything. But you've been here long enough to know that we have had people that come in here and they're very hostile about their behavior. They're very hostile about what is this and what is not. And you're stupid and no. And then I shut that down. I get it out of here. Yeah, the streams are like getting together with your favorite cousins, just chilling, talking about games. And indeed, when I first started, that was one of my thoughts. The first time I ever streamed, the first time I ever had, I think I've told you this story before. The first time I ever had the idea to stream, I was already making some YouTube videos. I didn't make a ton of them yet, but I had a decent amount of them. And there was a night that I was sitting, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I thought, man, I kind of want to stream right now. Like, I kind of wish that, and I think what it was I didn't say I kind of want to stream right now. What I said was, what I thought to myself was, I kind of wish I could hang out and talk about video games. That's really, I'm not exaggerating. That was my thought, was like, man, I kind of wish I could hang out and just play video games and talk about them with people. And I think the next day I made my Twitch page. And then I decided I was going to look into what it took to start streaming. The origins of me streaming are not about playing games on stream live. Oh, no. They're about hanging out with people, because that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the days where I used to do that with my friends. Yeah, we're about being taught to do maybe backpedal sometimes to reevaluate. I want to see other perspectives. Oh, like a guy came in and wanted to fight because we were playing melee. Yeah, like that's I have no patience for that. You're not doing anything constructive when you do that. Oh my god, what the hell that just happened there? Oh, sorry, Sliner, I got distracted there. Oh, you're asking about the melee guy. Okay, you were asking about the melee guy. Yeah, the melee guy was a lot of fun. He just that's one thing that I've done. I haven't had to really do that in a while. We've had people that come in here and they're a little bit hostile, or they've got a nasty thing to say, right? They're trying to be jerks. And it usually, one thing that I like to do with that in that situation is I usually like to engage in them. I like to talk to them and have a conversation. Like, why do you think that that's, like, not even like being a smartass. I usually like to say, like, why do you think that that's a fun thing to do? Like, why, like, what's the enjoyment level? And I noticed that when you really put that on people and you start to, you get them in a situation where they kind of have to put it down. Like, they have to say specifically why they're doing this dumb thing. I notice a lot of the time people don't know how to react to that. They don't get it. They don't understand. Like, oh wow, he's saying I'm a jerk. Not actually saying it. It's so much fun. It's so interesting. You just have to have good skin for it. That's the problem. Is that a lot of people, you know, if somebody comes in and they're using some really, really terrible things, you have to have the skin to say, all right, let's have some fun and insult this guy a little bit. Or not insult him, but. Ha! Ah! I had to style on him at the end there. Give him a little style. One of my favorite feelings that I hear with friends in real life is when you debate a topic and both suddenly go, "Oh, I didn't think about that," and it changes how you view the topic in the first place. Yeah, it gives you an idea of that there's a different viewpoint, and at the very least, even if it doesn't change your viewpoint, it makes you understand someone else's. I think that's the most important thing. When you discuss your own opinions about things, I don't think it's all about
that we should hurry.
I'm trying to change your mind. Like whenever I tell you about that stuff, or whenever we talk about that, I'm not trying to change your mind. Talking about like this is how this feels like a Final Fantasy or whatever. I'm not trying to change your mind. I want you to understand why I feel the way I feel. And when I ask you for an explanation about it, I just want to understand why you feel the way you feel. That's it. Trying to engage a ton of bigger topics, because like this, I just don't know how to word it right. Like I wasn't talking about on stream or even thinking about on stream. It was just more in general. But I think that it's relevant. Like even if you weren't talking specifically about on stream, you're right. I did think of it as on stream specifically, but I do think that it's still relevant. I think that that's a problem that people do have nowadays. Is the idea that if somebody says something. If you say something that someone else disagrees with, they automatically think you're attacking them. That's not just a streamer thing. That happens in real life. That's a regular thing that happens nowadays, is that people, they hear a different opinion and they automatically assume that they're under attack or that their opinion is being criticized. It's like, no, it's just a different opinion. That's all that it is. No, and you're not dumb. Don't put yourself down like that. It's not that you're dumb. I get that if it's not being worded right, or if it's being worded in a way that that could have been my mistake where I just didn't understand that. But it's a relevant thing, though. It is a relevant thing that happens nowadays. Is that people, everybody's just assuming that everybody else is being hostile, and it's not really the case. Some people are just trying to be interested. Some people take their passions as their personalities. Wow, a truer thing hasn't been said all day. Holy smokes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because if somebody, if you say something bad about video games, like, man, if you know what, that's a good way to put it, Kia, because if you went into a video game forum and you said something along the lines of, you can't just waste your life playing video games, everybody's going to assume it's an attack. Right? How dare you? Video games have enriched so many people's lives. How dare you? But in reality, if you sat around playing video games all day and you didn't get a job and you don't shower and you don't interact with people and you don't nurture your life in any way whatsoever, guess what? Video games are ruining your life. Realistically, you're kind of ruining your own life with that one. But it's still true. If you sit around and just play video games all day and you don't do any of the stuff that you're supposed to do, it ruins your life. But that's also true if you sit around all day and watch television or listen to music. If you don't shower because you wanted to read a book, that doesn't make you more cultured. It makes you stinky. Is just the truth. But we have a tendency to hear the things that we feel like are disagreeing with us as hostile. And it's a problem that I think has gotten worse. I think that as we go on, I think people that are more inclined, truth, you beat me to it. People are just more inclined to take something as someone is being disagreeing and combative and hostile towards me. And that's not just a streamer problem. That's not just a streaming problem. It's not just a social media problem. It happens in real life. Here. I probably shouldn't have talked to you. We should have just wrapped up there. With those situations, people weaponize their opinions to deliberately put. Yeah, and so I can understand what. Yeah, and it does happen. That's the thing, is that it's not all in your head. When people do that, it's not all in everybody's head. Where no, they're not being hostile. No, some people actually are being hostile.
The nations are still in chaos, and the skies are still the color.
You know, we're defensive.
2 days on.
And that's probably the best thing I could say, is that we're.
Clive.
I'll try to make this the last deep thing I say today, but we're at a point where life is so hard. We're just defensive. We're protecting ourselves. We're trying to protect ourselves from as much as we can, because everything out there it feels terrible.
Thank you, Otto.
People are more hostile than they've ever been. We can't afford things the way we used to be able to. It's harder to get a job. It's harder to do this. You can't engage in half your hobbies because if you're engaging in the wrong thing, it just seems like we're being assaulted from every possible direction. So people have started to take to being defensive from every possible direction.
But Olivier, who served as Ultima's puppet, and when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. Only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
Small wonder he has.
Rule 1 of conventions, deodorant. That's part of why I have such anxiety. I feel like tiptoeing in eggshells with some people.
Had I but reached out to him
and it's not unreasonable. If somebody was to say, well, you can't do that. Some people, you have to do that. It's just, you have to try and figure out who.
Joshua. What do you know of Ultima?
Oh, wait, hold on. They're actually talking. Yeah, I probably should have saved this for the next stream.
Very little, I'm afraid.
Fight the insurance how to auto-adjust to every situation and take things as they come.
Ago, as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, it was not death who came for me, but another.
Thanos.
Well, in my rescuer's care, I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow.
Yeah, plot time, just in time for us to almost wrap up.
Driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
I mean, Ultima has got a point there. He's got good taste.
What use could I be to such a creature?
He's probably going somewhere and kill some stuff regardless. Now, the plot's usually a bit more intricate than that. The story's really intricate, too. So, well, I mean, intricate-ish.
You were chosen for a reason.
I feel like you're getting spoilers by watching this, so I feel bad. So
carry within them the might of an icon.
So before, people don't treat their opinions as facts, not opinions. I've seen, even in this case, wrong can feel like a personal attack.
I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements.
Except...
But you, Clive.
You're the Avatar.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit.
Shield your eyes, Sliner. Don't listen. Wait, you don't use eyes to listen. I got that mixed up.
Goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly limitless.
Mythos.
I've encountered that thing several times now. If it or
you are special. Those pecs are immaculate.
Why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess,
that part of what the menu saying, but I'm not saying it's bad. It's just the safe. It's safer about it. And avoid a fight. It becomes a habit. I don't fault them for it. It's like saying in my opinion, right? Look, in my opinion, right? And it's a defensive mechanism.
But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept.
But that's just me. It's another one, Dragon. But that's just me.
I'm sorry. Inside you.
Tell me more.
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
Wait, he's got...
What were you thinking?
Wait, really? Hold on. I feel like we just heard something really important there.
Clive, and I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
It's like, oh, I thought it was gonna be feathers. All right. Oh, blood. That's actually kind of worse.
It's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canberra.
I'm just saying. I know what you want to say. Just hold on to that thought. Yeah, I've. Oh, okay. Wait. I think I have an idea. It's gonna be like 18 minutes of story. Gonna go over time here.
What's the short of it?
Tyre told you. The capital of the Free Cities is under siege by an
Oh,
army
no.
of monstrosities. The city guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
Mid?
No.
Eh.
But they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
And we shall. Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Vivian, what's the swiftest route to the Free Cities?
That sounds like a question for the map. Look here. This road, through Tabor, should provide the
Clive,
least
press the middle button on your controller.
The hell
does that mean?
Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, bed is where you should be bound.
You don't think I told him the exact same thing?
Were Tyre not such a talented healer, I would surely have been inclined to agree. But thanks to her ministrations, I feel I may safely rejoin.
Later, Kia. Have a good one.
Used to wait for me in Tabor.
Yeah, what's the fastest way? Well, there's fast travel.
All right, we travel together.
Clive.
If he stays close to me, he'll be fine.
Thank you, brother.
I still say fast travel is probably the thing that kind of messes up like the immersion of games more than anything, and not because you don't explore. It's just like you have these moments like this. You have these moments where it's supposed to feel like a grand adventure, and you just warp. So, it's like a grand adventure. It's like no, he's just gonna warp there. All right, so let me go here. I need to head to bed. No, we're wrapping up here in a second anyway. So let me do this. I actually forgot something very important that I have to do later today. Yeah, they unlocked fast travel in Game of Thrones. Yeah, they did, right? They were down in the Dragon Isles or whatever the hell they were called, and then all of a sudden they were up at they were up at the Wall. Yeah, you're right. They did fast travel in Game of Thrones all the time. And it was the last. Yeah, because whenever they made it a point like we're gonna go to the Wall or something, there was always an adventure. There were always things that happened on the way. And then in season 7 and 8, they were like, we have to go to the Wall. Boom, they're at the Wall, and nothing happens on the way. Yeah, you're right about that. They did. Alrighty. But that is going to do it for today. Give me 1 second here. Let me see who is probably send you there. I'm gonna just send you to Christine. Okay. Go to the top of the kingdom. There's not a skip and a hop from the castle. Yeah, they're like hundreds of miles apart. All right. But that is going to do it for today. So thank you, everybody, for stopping and for hanging out. Very, very much appreciated. Hang on a second here. I gotta get the raid thing going here. Yeah, Sagers, I see you, buddy. I hear you, buddy. Hold on, I'll give you some treats in a second. No. Where's my? Wait, what? Wait, where's my thing to search? Oh, search. Okay, they made it a little bar. What? They change this every time. Oh, here we go. Okay. But yeah, thank you everybody for stopping and for hanging out. Very, very much appreciated. Tomorrow I'll probably try and stream a little earlier tomorrow. Normally it's sort of like the shorter day. I'll probably try and stream. For the love of God, if Microsoft can take a day and not just do something incredibly stupid, that would be very much appreciated so that we can try and jump into the game a little bit quicker. But I'll keep you posted on Twitter to let you know what's going to happen. For right now, though, I'm going to send you over to Krista Teal is playing something called The Longest Journey. So stick around after the credits, and I will send you over there to hang out and represent us very well. Thank you once again, everybody, for stopping in, for hanging out. Don't forget to drink your mask, wear your water, social distance whenever possible. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you all tomorrow.